Adoatv, bringing good things to life. Adoatv, bringing good things to life. Adoatv, bringing good things to life.
Good morning and thanks for joining us on today's news bulletin. This is the AM News coming to you live from our studios at the John Evans Fifiata Mills High Street in Accra. We also streaming live on Facebook at Adoatv Ghana, on YouTube at Adoatv GH, and around the world at adoanewsonline.com. My name is Jonathan Amana. Coming up in this bulletin, following the gunshot incident at Bimbilla, victim is under medical care at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. Also in this bulletin, we'll look at issues pertaining to the Lecture Commission, as they've stated that Ghana card to be the only documented card for identity following the registration process coming up next time. We'll bring you details of that, and also schools under trees. We'll look at Nabori Primary School in focus. We have the details to that and more right in the news bulletin. Please do stay. For staying with us. Remember, this is your hub of comprehensive and compendious news update. My name is Jonathan Amana. To our very first story, we'll look at a story from the northern region, where a young man believed to be in his late 30s, Mbe Osman, a resident of Bimbilla in the northern region, who was shot during a joint security operation, is currently under medical care in the Tamale Teaching Hospital. He was rushed to the Bimbilla Government Hospital after the incident before being referred to the Teaching Bimbilla Hospital for further medical attention. The joint security operation, according to sources within the security service, which is aimed at fishing out residents with unregistered weapons and illicit drug dealers. Nuruddin Ibrahim has the rest of the story.
The victim, believed to be in his 30s and goes by the name Mbe Usman, a resident of Bimbela in the northern region who was shot during a joint security operation, is currently under medical care at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. He was rushed to the Bimbela Government Hospital after the incident before being referred to the Tamale Teaching Hospital. The joint security operation, according to sources within the security service, was aimed at fishing out residents with unregistered weapons and illicit drug dealers. On a follow-up to the hospital, a family member of the victim, Mr. Mohammed Sanko, spoke to Adwa News team and he said the victim's condition has been stabilized, but was quick to refute media reports suggesting the victim was dead.
Been the best way to go. There would have been a better use of minimal force rather than the pull of the trigger. So, but that one actually doesn't rest on my shoulders. It is up to authorities who are giving the mandate in the district and even the region.
According to him, the victim was on his way back from his farm when the sad incident happened at the Bimbila township, adding that he was shot at the back. He said a scan has since been carried out on the victim to establish whether or not any internal organs were damaged. Mr. Husseini said the police service has assured to foot the bills of the victim and, however, called on the state authorities to deal decisively with the security personnel who pulled the trigger. Another relative also questioned why the victim was targeted by the security personnel.
I wanted to find out what the guy did before he was shot. The man who did that, who prompted him or who has authorized him to do that. And also I want to know his identity, even though I can't do anything to him or we can't do anything, but just to know what has brought about all this. Because we have our leaders over there too. Maybe they might have instructed them to go and then take the action that they have taken. The man should be booked. They shouldn't just leave him free, even though
Stay on standby to give you more as development unfolds in that stead. Now away from that, let's treat issues pertaining to the Ghana card. Identification of Ghanaians has been strapped into a solid foundation as the Electoral Commission says it is ready to adopt the Ghana card as the only document to prove one's citizenship in the next voter registration exercise. The Director of Electoral Services at the Electoral Commission, Dr. Seribo Kweku, in an interview said the Commission had already reached a consensus with the political parties and was waiting for an amendment of the registration laws by Parliament to give legal backing to the move.
The Ghana Revenue Authority (GRA) and the Registrar General's Department (RGD) in collaboration with the National Identification Authority (NIA) on 1st April 2021 informed the public that the Ghana Card Personal Identification Number (Ghana Card PIN) would replace the Taxpayers Identification Number (TIN) of individuals issued by the GRA for tax identification purposes. Government's policy was to use it as a unique identifier for all transactions when the identification of an individual is required. According to the NIA, about 12 million of Ghana's population have been issued with the cards out of the 30.8 million of Ghana's population. Mr. Kweku said when the law is amended, persons who do not have the Ghana card would not be able to register to vote because the law would not allow the use of passport or guarantors as substitute for the Ghana card. We are going to amend the law to incorporate that. What it means is that going forward, anybody who turns 18 and wants to register, you have to come with evidence of Ghana card to show that you are a Ghanaian and 18 years. Then we will register the person. You can't use your passport or guarantors when the law is amended, he said. However, Article 51 of the 1992 Constitution grants the EC the power to, by constitutional instrument, make regulations for the effective performance of its functions and, in particular, for the registration of voters. the conduct of public elections and referenda. The 2020 voters registration exercise was governed by the Public Elections Registration of Voters Amendment Regulation 2020 CI 126, which was passed by Parliament in June 2020.
To me, maybe I think say you mean you gonna card no for the idea and you know because if you ever could do a has a bisa snakes, nay bisa bed set, now would need be now I stranded into no say baby you should gonna card no and the idea to me it is very good.
Because looking at the processes involved in registering the card, no, someone always has to bring voter's ID, health insurance, and other documents for him or her to be able to go through the process. If they've taken only one card, which is a Ghana card, for the registration, I think it's good.
Okay, Electoral Commission has highly professional, personnel who are working for EC. Understand? So I think that if they have said that they want the Ghana cards to be the only document for any registration in Ghana, I think it's a good thing. I don't think you have to carry a lot of documents just you want to register voter's ID or maybe passport. And one thing you have to know that we are in a digital world now, and then Ghana card is sort of a digital. It's not just a biometric something, but it's something that is digital. Since it has the chip, somewhere over there. Anything that has a chip somewhere means that information on it can be pulled anywhere that is being inserted. You understand? So I think that if they have decided, because EC is not a small organization, it's a very big one that represents Ghana.
And so this is a move by the Electoral Commission to, as they are keen on making the Ghana card the legal document for identification in the voter registration exercise. Now let's still stay on the Ghana cards. Some Ghanaians have been sleeping at some registration centers to obtain their national identification cards, also known as the Ghana card. Speaking with the media, an officer of Ayawaso Central District said there are about 4 staff for each district working on people who come to register. According to them, they give priority to persons with disability, health professionals, security personnel, and pregnant women. He added that those sleeping at the centers are those who do not get numbers when they give out numbers each morning and yet refuse to go back home. They work on limited numbers of applicants within the day, he said. However, to prevent such situation where people would have to sleep at the various centers, he called on security service to help send such applicants home to prevent any future chaos. From that, on a rather sad note, let's look at schools under trees. The phrase school under trees is a political term usually during election years. Politicians from both sides of the coin come up with never-ending promises to make this phenomenon a thing of the past in their various constituencies. However, pupils of Nabori Primary School in the West Gonja district of the Savannah region have to constantly deal with studying under trees, and those who happen to have roofs over their heads actually wish ordained as their classrooms blocks are a ticking time bomb. Salifu Adam Jabu from the Savannah region comes through with this report.
Pupils of the Nabori Primary School in the Savannah region study in what they call death trap structures. Teaching and learning in Nabori Primary School has taken its own stead. While some students have to learn under trees, others who are fortunate to have classroom blocks walk on eggshells as the classrooms either have cracks, dusty floors, and others have little or no windows at all. The assemblyman for the area, Mr. Idrisu Abdurraham, who spoke to Adwa News, expressed worry over the risk the structure poses on the lives of the people who are compelled to study there daily. According to him, all efforts to have the block replaced or fixed by duty bearers and the authorities have all proven futile.
I cannot say I'm not aware of it for some time now. All efforts have been made to the duty bearers and authorities to support the community with a well-structured school, all failed. I strongly believe that West Gonja, the entire nation, has people who are interested in investing in education. We have NGOs and other philanthropists that are out there who are into children empowerment and all those things. I strongly believe that with the effort of the media, bringing this structure, the attention to the public out there, I am 100% sure that the duty bearers and other people will come to support the community.
Again, he said whenever it rains, authorities of the school are forced to close the school or move their pupils from the buildings over fears of it collapsing.
It gives fear and panic to teachers and students. How can you, a teacher, be in this kind of structure and you have the peace of mind to teach the students? When it is raining, they have to move the students out. When the weather starts to blow wind, they have to send the students out. So it's so serious. Teaching and learning is not something that is ongoing here because the students themselves cannot concentrate because of the environment.
He therefore appealed to NGOs, institutions, philanthropists, among others, to come to the aid of the school as efforts to reach government is yet to yield any fruit.
I want to use this opportunity, most especially the media, to appeal to the general public, well-meaning Ghanaians, people who are interested in the lives of our young children, people who are interested in investing in education. They should please come to the aid of Nabori community to get us a school to support the community. If not, in the near future, we'll be counting deaths and other calamities, which will not be good for West Gonja Municipal. So I'm appealing to the District Assembly, which I'm a member. I've been advocating for it. It is in our action plan, but as to when will it be awarded to a contract, the contractor is our problem. I'm equally appealing to the Member of Parliament for Damongo constituency. He should come to our aid and support the good people of Nabora.
The school's authorities, who refused to speak to the news team because of fear of being victimized, said off camera that the nature of the school is negatively affecting teaching and learning. The school currently has a population of 206 students.
Breaking story and a sad state there in the Nabori primary school. This is a must-see by government officials. If you're just joining, you're still watching the AM News live from our studios at the John Evans Fifiate Mills High Street in Accra. Now let's do some business. The Ghana Revenue Authority has cautioned oil marketing companies who have defaulted on payment of taxes that it will not hesitate to publish names of defaulters if they fail to honor their obligations by December 3rd, 2021. In a notice served to the defaulters through its Twitter handle, the authority said in addition to the publication of names, the defaulting OMCs will face prosecution, seal off business premises, as well as garnish their account. The Ghana Revenue Authority wishes to inform managers of the oil marketing companies who have defaulted on payment of taxes that the authority will publish names of defaulting OMCs and their managers if satisfactory arrangements are not made to settle outstanding tax liabilities by Friday, 3rd December 2021, a GRA notice said. The authority has therefore advised the OMCs to settle their tax liabilities by December 3, 2021. In addition to the publication of the list of defaulters, the authority will continue enforcement actions such as garnishing the accounts and sealing off businesses premises, among other enforcement tools available, as well as prosecution, the notice added. The authority also advised other businesses to follow due processes to settle their outstanding tax liabilities to avoid enforcement actions against them. More business news. The Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has defended the electronic transaction levy proposed in the 2022 budget, saying it will help lift Ghana's tax to GDP ratio to a level comparable to peer economies in the sub-region at around 12% in 2019 and 2020, and 13% in 2021, Ghana's tax to GDP ratio remains far below the government tax of 20% by 2023. Part of efforts to raise the proportion of the country's gross domestic product, the finance minister in the 2022 budget statement revealed that a 1.75% tax will be slapped on electronic transactions beyond 100 Ghana cedis daily and more than 3,000 Ghana cedis monthly.
Foray into African socialism. For instance, the stickiness in the ratio of investment to GDP is particularly striking in the first 30 years after independence. Relative to our peers, we invested less in infrastructure and social support systems. Between 1961 and 2020, Ghana's average gross fixed capital formation ratio was 17%, compared to 25% even in sub-Saharan Africa. The consequences of insufficient investment and rapid debt accumulation are heightened given our rapidly growing and youthful population. Our population has grown from 6.7 million in 1960 to 30.8 million today, and has gotten increasingly younger from 2.2 million in 1960 to 10.8 million in 2020. So the implementation really is going to, there's a lot of discussions going on with regards to the technical teams that have been set up already to look at how this will work. So that is unfolding, and we should be ready by January 1st, when we hope that we can effect that. But we were pretty conservative with regards to the underlying figures as to what transaction values are, etc., and the transfer issues. So I think we are right in the ballpark of the 6.9 billion or something that we anticipate that we'll be able to get for this period. And really, all of us understanding that this is a new means in which we can garner this type of sustainable resources without killing, the golden goose, in a sense. But we started from about 78 billion 5 years ago, in which we did not come to the market for this, but to make it really part of our sociology and convenience, that the issue of migration, etc., as we conclude the debate, I'm sure we'll sharpen it to make sure that the concerns that have been raised, are there for us to manage.
So that was the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta there. For more business news, do well to log on to our website on adoanewsonline.com/business. Now in the world of sports, the 2021 Hockey African Cup for Club Championship commenced yesterday at the Tedosia Oko Hockey Pitch in Accra. The competition, which is being hosted by the Ghana Hockey Association with support from the African Hockey Foundation, will witness 14 clubs with 4 different countries vying for supremacy in this year's tournament.
The refurbished Theodosia Oko Hockey Stadium in Accra is the venue for the Africa Club Champions Cup tournament from November 24 to 30. The hockey stadium, which is yet to be outdoored, saw both male and female hockey champions from some African countries battling for the 3-point. The men category comprises of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Police, Ghana Armed Forces, Eastern Company, Zamalek, and Tirat Club from Egypt, Keda Stars, Police Machines from Nigeria, and Wazalando from Kenya. The female division also comprises of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Police, Ghana Prisons, Plateau Queens, and Delta Queens from Nigeria. With this, the artificial turf has seen massive improvement, relaying of asphalt on the premises, renovation of the players' hostel, among others. The Ghana Revenue Authority women's team were awarded 3 points and 3 goals after Plateau Queens did not show up 15 minutes before kickoff. In other matches, Egyptians men hockey team Zamalek won by 2 goals to 1 against Wazalando of Kenya, Goals from Ahmed Ali, Metwal and Basha Mahmoud gave Zamalek the maximum 3 points of the game. In other results, Ghana Police also won by a goal to 0 against Eastern Company. Goal by Evans Sadari in the 35th minute was enough for the police team to win their first game of the tournament. Ghana Revenue Authority's men team will play Tirat of Egypt, whilst Ghana Police Women's will later take on Delta Queens of Nigeria. The Ghana Hockey Association, led by the hard-working president, Dr. Ben K.D. Asante, with support from the local organizing committee, which has pledged to host a successful tournament.
Away from hockey, let's treat some soccer. As part of Africa's countdown to its biennial football showpiece to be hosted by Cameroon this year, Confederation of African Football has unveiled Togo, the official match ball. The match ball sources its name as deep-rooted tradition in Cameroon, where Togo is a popular traditional outfit.
The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has announced the official match ball for the 2021 Total Energy Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon as part of the countdown to Africa's biggest sporting event. The new official match ball, named Togo after the traditional outfit that is very popular in Cameroon, will be used by the 24 teams during the 52 matches to be played at the competition between 9th January 2022 and 6th February 2022. Togo was initially designed for royalty in the northwest region of Cameroon, but has since been adopted by Cameroonians as an outfit for special occasions. Designed to meet the highest standards in the game, the ball features simple technological features, including a smart panel configuration, and is FIFA approved to be used at highest level of the game. With the smart panel configuration, the FIFA-approved match ball features simple technological features. Designed on the ball are patterns of the popular Togo wear.
That's that with sports. Now in some entertainment and lifestyle. Today, for entertainment, we will be doing a stop over at the Ghana Police Service after the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akuffo-Dampare, was sworn in as the IGP. Many have hailed him privately and publicly. However, from the police themselves, it looks like little has been heard from them. Today, in the next video, some police officers could not hide their glee anymore as they burst into praises as IGP paid them a courtesy call. Excerpts there. That was Dampi. For more news, do well to log on to our website on adoanewsonline.com. Until then, my name is Jonathan. Have a wonderful morning and enjoy the rest of our programs.
Malaria nti abayi waye juma bono malaria defo ya o nti awo ahire ne customers ni wahu ne se maami aye smart abe CB Malakio amma ne baya odi ko school she se aduane si berry market tie ni malaria nti a onti mi ni onia entina ho ema we mu biara to wo so we malaria test na bi wo mu a edra bedi wa ene CB Malakio yedinu na ne hahama na akeka bom asone so aye CB Malakio edra we so de enya nyonkra o aye tata she
edra yi nyema apemfo abata ya wo ma wo manufo ene nkwada a woni mfie dumie
Susiana. What would you with
FD ahwehwɛ saa ejedi nkrato yi mu agye atomu sɛ ɛyɛ.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with Rwandair today. Rwandair, the safest airline in Africa.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
Announcements on Adoatv. Contact Adoatv for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies, etc. at a very affordable rate. Call 050-92-57754, 020-9494-258, or visit our marketing desk at Stepwork premises. Adoatv, bringing good things to life.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with Rwandair today. Rwandair, the safest airline in Africa.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
Yeah, see you make up now. I'm correct. What's your best mankasa? That's it. Oh, middle. You captures back on the CB men capsules. You imagine. See, CB men capsules and America.
Yeah, you see men and women's capsules now. You knew the data. And one year packaging I had the pepper.
Wow! What a packaging! CB men, any CB women capsules, no packaging is out. And you also no mood any biansan wako do pegi.
Share a painful any about town man kwada no fo. Any kwada won di fie do ye. En ka ho.
Susanna. Ghana man be man tamase.
Dodo afre 0247 111671 and 0246 578 750. FDA aje edwedin kato yato.
You could never be not say your friend when you're the bonnet. Ghana memo ye buya ne ye pepan training, centrane, treasure Ghana man and pesa money. Kofi babone, me boko ko jani bonnet. The man something what nature Ghana man say munti, mini, or bra for me wafa hundi, come modi momu jumedi munkulmidi, no say, young ara assassini a yabode de mayen, mujana nan mishe gunyade to homayen, domien, fuayen, jayen, adu. Many will so say, yes, we be a biatwaso, Momaso, Cataso, or May Moody Emaso, and then if you said, why your mama gonna will be a lawyer for doctor for my Miss Anderson, for driver for my Miss Fita, for aircraft for tailor for my Miss Baba, for soldier for teacher for my Miss Suku, for rap for Ghana rap soft for me, say Miss Red or man for when I'm on your back, she say yet the fact, but you will say you back one Cambo more embu, Crabby Santa Cotopo, map Beba is the motto, Yanfa Cotuloto, my mumo franny, yes, Munyato Basenia home Brasil, Winning Indian Amon Coto, Bible Chess said the way Johnny Wunani, Unkana Swari was so, in Timonia bread. Nana Yamino dear, she come on money. Kadian Kwame and Sam, Osoni Asasea and Sam, Nanano Musama for and Sam, Yi Kwame Kuma Paye, Kadian Kwame and Sam, Osoni Asasea and Sam, Nanano Musama for and Sam, Yi Kwame Kuma Paye, wait, Nanchang, of front man, with the Hama Ghana, the Fred Osajifo, Dr. Kwame Kuma. Yebo wudin, wudye wuyentin, wudu winyasa na ejigana to hobe your hin, ewim, yedin, profokuma bobri me pisi wuri se wakuku dogo doso te senyin. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah wudu winyasa te senshoma, Frika mamu nyina yeji utumu se wudi muhoma, bapoma, weni ate saberima, weni afriti sabronima, wadimu adabro mama gana nyafa hudye, yasha mansenyi na musumunya aso na muntie, rekete, ibini mabu homeso, rekete, adeshema mabu homeso, rekete, asantini mabu homeso, rekete, Santini mabu homeso, rekete, ayigweni mabu homeso, rekete, wawuni mabu homeso, hausa, akwapem, achim, bono, dagomba, cry. Ghana Fujina, Afimi Begunsa, Osaji for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah Brabe Jensa, Nana no penny for Mudimokrato Hoji Ghana, May Maya, so yet Tonsa, After Moni Ghana, Bush me Beransa, my force and Mome Jensa, Munina Chechi Japaya, Stress and Momo Donsa, Ipa Bonia can and Koma Ghana, and Beguas here, dear Money Triso, or my Ghana Quasso, or my penny Quasso, or Bra for me Quasso, Mamre Quasso, young cock. Mr. Kadian Kwame and Sam, Osoni Asasea and Sam, Nanano Musama for and Sam, Yi Kwame Kuma Paye, Kadian Kwame and Sam, Osoni Asasea and Sam, Nanano Musama for and Sam, Yi Kwame Kuma Paye, Kadian Kwame and Sam, Osoni Asasea and Sam, Nanano Musama for and Sam, Yi Kwame Kuma Paye. Kadian Kwame and Sam, Osoni Asasea and Sam, Nanano Musama for and Sam, Yi Kwame Kuma Paye. The last.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
RwandAir, fly the dream of Africa.
And welcome to another edition of AM Ghana. We are pleased to come your way once again today, wherever you are watching us from. We hope you are doing very, very, very well. From now till the hour of about 9:30, we are going to do a lot. Jonathan came your way with the news tidbits from around the world, and of course in Ghana. We are going to continue here from what the newspapers are saying, what the newspapers are telling us, and then there will be another segment, and then there will be another segment, all because of you. I'm here with Reginald Ade. Good morning, boss.
Good morning, Senior. How are you? And how is the family?
Well.
How are the little children? They want to play.
Yeah,
so the rain and the rain should go away.
Little children, all the little children of the world, red and yellow, black and white.
Oh, they are all precious in the sight.
Yeah, exactly.
Indeed, we are all precious in the sight of the Lord, which is why we have live this morning. And we are happy to be here with you on the AM Ghana. Many thanks to you for joining us this morning. Certainly, we'll be taking you on a ride through the newspaper headlines. We'll take you through the newspaper review segment. And of course, bring you some conversations in the discussion segment. We'll be speaking about the psyche and the development of it. My name is Reginald Addy, and this is AM Ghana. Remember, we're streaming live on Facebook at Adoatv Ghana. We're streaming live on YouTube as well as Adoatv GH. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our social media platforms on Instagram. We are live. We are always representing as well at Adoatv_GH. Please ensure that you follow, because you would get the best of content for television. And without much ado, let's go straight on to the newspaper headlines after this roll.
Malaria nti abayiwa yedwuma bono. Malaria therefore yao nti awo ahwere ne customers ni. Wahu ne se maami aye smart apesibi malakio amma ne baya odi ko school. She se aduane si berry market chi ani malaria nti a ontimi ni.
And now Emma when we are out to walk. So we have malaria testing. Maybe one and Trebetua and the city malagio. Yedinuna, Nehama, and Naki Kabum Asoneso, I see malagio. And no way so dear, and I don't grow. I yet tata shit.
A drawing yama appeal for about a woman for any quada one in fear.
Susiana, what would you with
FD Ashesha sa a jedi and cratoimu adia to Musa and
When you go outside there, you realize that there is a busy atmosphere out there. Of course, this is because we are in the Yuletide season. And on Tuesday, if you followed PM Ghana, indeed, I had a conversation with the communications director for the National Road Safety Authority. And we established that the theme for this year's campaign is stay alive. Stay alive. So if you have life this morning, just make sure that you protect yourself and you protect the life of another person. And in stay alive, the slogan is Jai Obonsam Ejumano. Jai Obonsam Ejumano. It's a Jai Obonsam Ejumano. So it is to you, a pedestrian who has decided to cross the road at unprescribed areas. There is a zebra crossing, but you decide to cross Spider-Man. So when you think that the cars are not fast, or you think that you are faster than the car, please, within these times, the drivers have become impatient. Now to you impatient drivers, please ensure that you save somebody's life. And to the passengers who keep pressurizing the drivers to speed up just because you want to get to your destination, I don't know whether on time or early, please, Munjai Obonsam Ejumano. This is the National Road Safety Authority speaking to you. Well, let's go into the daily graphic and share the headlines there. And it says on page 16 that identify means to enhance revenue mobilization. The president has tasked the NDPC. Now, on page 16 again, Dankwa Institute urges consultations on Momo tax. Dankwa Institute urges consultations on Momo tax. And this has become the conversation since last week, and the conversation is still ongoing. Curfew at Balkan municipality over renewed chieftaincy disputes. Stories from page 20 of the Daily Graphic. Now the big story here: amend pension laws to ensure SNIT sustainability, says a think tank ACCR. And that story is continued on page 3 from the front page of the Daily Graphic. Now let's go into the back page where they have some more stories. Customers Energy commissions 3 hunger relief projects. And another one here. So it's about hunger, but this is about a country, Hungary. So Hungarian government delegation tours Kumasi waste treatment plant. Hungarian government delegation towards Kumasi waste treatment plant. And that's on the back page. Certainly, the Daily Graphic is always hefty, so let me quickly jump onto the center spread and see what we have here. Exempt pharmaceuticals from benchmark discount reversal. Exempt pharmaceuticals from benchmark discount reversal. And I think that this is a laudable call. There are some commodities that indeed, if the benchmark value is reduced or perhaps totally scrapped on, would be detrimental to especially the citizenry. And we plead that what is supposed to be a review, as stated by the finance minister in the 2022 budget, it should be carefully looked at. We need, if it should be reviewed, we should see a positive review and not a downward throttling review. AMCHAM or AmCham, if you want to say it's that way, because it is the American Chamber of Commerce, has honored the U.S. ambassador and others. And we have a picture of my very good friend, Miss Stephanie Sullivan, the American ambassador to Ghana, portraying the logo and emblem or flag, if you want it, of AmCham. Scheme to improve cocoa farmer incomes launched. Scheme to improve cocoa farmer incomes launched, and we hope that this will go a long way to motivate our cocoa farmers, and especially when coming next 2 weeks Friday, we would be celebrating our farmers in Ghana. That's it for the Daily Graphic. Grab a copy for yourself.
Well, another daily here, but it's the Daily Statesman, issue 42, number 15, ISSN 39/11, Thursday, November 25, 2021. Let me add the prices, 3 series. DI allows government's economic recovery strategies. And the big story here is help us implement 2022 budget. Help us implement 2022 budget. Finance Minister appeals to Ghanaians, me and you and everybody. Finance Minister is calling on us, urging us to help him implement the 2022 budget. Don't forget that it is the budget that contains the e-levy tax as well as many others. Denmark Prime Minister in Ghana for official visit. Stories on page 2. And Herbert Krapper. Africa can't let down momentum AFCFTA gives us today. Very true. Very true, I agree. Africa can't let down momentum AFCFTA gives us today. Okay, so usually there is the petroleum price indicators as of 23rd November. There's also here on the front page of the Daily Statesman. Let's get some more stories from the Daily Statesman. And what's here? Western region records low COVID-19 vaccination coverage. Western region records low COVID-19 vaccination coverage. And the NPP better than NDC in terms of development. Captain Ifa Nkrabiadate, former Deputy Interior Minister under the Kufuor regime. Captain Ifa Nkrabiadate is speaking. He says the NPP is better than the NDC in terms of development. All right, we have heard. Still budget statement here. I think the budget statement has been captured in the Daily Statesman since Monday.
Yeah, well, the conversation is still ongoing. I mean, the debate is still ongoing. Yes, and yesterday they should have realized the chaos that emanated in Parliament because, according to the Minority Chief Whip, the Finance Minister and his other subsequent ministers, according to Article 111 of the Standing Orders of the of Parliament, should be present after having, called on Parliament to discuss. They should be present to answer to some questions because the debate is currently ongoing. But as of yesterday, there was not the presence of any of the finance ministers, and this sparked a lot of debate. We also heard from the majority side when they also made some pronouncements that the minority thought wasn't palatable, and it sparked a whole lot of debate that I think was, unwarranted, because at the end of the day, it's behoved on one party to retract and set the motion, or perhaps get the ball rolling. But the debate is still ongoing. Yesterday, the health minister answered to a couple of sections of the budget, and as well as some other ministers as well. And so today is going to continue, and we will definitely bring updates to our viewers.
Oh, that's good. Elsewhere in sports, Ethiopia's Haile Gebrselassie and Feyisa Lilesa ready to join the Tigray War. GFA tells FIFA to punish and fine South Africa over frivolous allegations. GFA tells FIFA to punish and fine South Africa over frivolous allegations. Manchester United contacts Ernesto Valverde over interim manager role. That's it for the Daily Statesman. You can get yourself a copy and enjoy yourself.
All right, now let's move away from the Daily Statesman into the new Crusading Guide. What does it say here? Africans must build the Africa we want. Herbert Krapper. Can Africans build the Africa we want? Sam, this is a conversation that you would want to touch on.
I think we can, but perhaps do we want to?
Okay.
We can, of course. I mean, there are Africans helping build some of the Western world. Yeah, right. If you go to the US, I mean, you go to NASA, you see some Africans somewhere. You go to CNN, you go to all these places, and then you see Africans, in fact, doing very, very well there and in various departments. But, I mean, you come back home and it's another story. I mean, a story you don't even want to talk about. So I believe Africans can help build the Africa that we all want, but another question. The other question is: do Africans want to build the Africans they the Africa they
Let
want?
me answer this on behalf of Africans. I think that those who do not agree with me, my telephone number is 0241 66. We'll find the rest later. But those who don't agree with me, you can call me here. You can send me a message. Now, let me answer on behalf of Africans. I think that every African wants the development of Africa. But we don't value the people that would develop Africa. And everybody wants somebody to develop Africa. Every African wants another person to develop Africa. And
more
then
like, more like we don't know it is us.
Exactly. We feel like you know we are supposed to dwell in Africa and somebody is supposed to do the development for us. And it is clear that we don't also value those ones who would develop the country. And so those ones who get the required or the requisite skills, or who are blessed with those skills, end up landing in, you mentioned NASA, for instance. NASA is not an African institution.
Of course.
So they end up finding themselves in those foreign institutions. Our nurses are taken away. Our doctors, once they graduate, they want to be sent away. Our engineers want to, teachers. I mean, every brain, even you want to leave. Me too, if I get, I will go. I will go acquire knowledge and come back and build Africa. All right. So this is my plan.
I mean, it's very true. Even our sportsmen and women, they go and then they don't want to come back because of what they have what they have seen there. And then, like you said, you get the impression that we really don't want to develop as a country.
Exactly.
So, Charlie, let me just stay here.
But it's not as if whatever they have over there we don't have here. Maybe it's the cold weather in some countries, but we're also blessed with sunshine. Sunshine that can give us solar energy. Sunshine that helps our plants, our crops in growing. And agriculture is a thing for us that we have to capitalize on. But it's like, no, let's go there. The reason is that the systems over there, they are working. And when you say that the system is working in another country, and you say that over there it is glass and guan, people will not agree, but it is true.
Oh yeah.
And it is not the literal sense of glass, but the system is quite crystal clear that even if you are a novice, or I mean you're a first timer in certain countries, the systems will just steer you in place. But you get to a country in Africa and you don't know what the systems are, so you land and you are there. Everybody's doing anything, Sam.
Exactly.
Anything, Sam. Everybody's
doing
some
whatever they want. So you go to on our streets, you see a very or you get a sense that there is no order at all.
At all.
I mean, everybody does exactly what they feel like they should do, and you can't even correct anybody. Like the trotro.
Of course, you can't correct anybody.
Exactly, like the trotro stopping right in the middle of the road, and carrying passengers, and just try and say, hey, kindly go to the edge of the road and then do what you're doing. Hey, they will just come at you, and all those things. So, everybody wants to do what they want. Yet we still want to be like, we still want to be a developed country. I mean. Like you said, everybody wants another African to come and develop, but the development starts with all of us. I mean, it is only us that can develop our country, no matter how we go there, go and train, and come. And you see, another thing is that you go there, like you say, you go and acquire knowledge and come back.
Of course.
You go acquire the knowledge.
Yes.
And I think there's another thing that after acquiring the knowledge, you need to acquire. I mean, an extra acquisition is patience, because say you go there and you acquire this knowledge, come down here,
try to implement it,
and trust me, you'll be so annoyed. What is the guy's name? He said, "I don't want to be annoyed." You'll be so furious with the systems that you end up keeping your knowledge or the knowledge that you acquired to yourself, or perhaps go back and then still apply it there, continue to apply it there, because you'll be angry. Like you come recently, I was on the space of Kojo Ponkoma when he decided to engage young people and find out exactly what their problems are, they're
Yes,
able
yes,
to,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
And there is this gentleman who came from America. I mean, he stayed in America, did a lot of schooling, blah, 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 came to Ghana to visit. He was given a parcel to give someone. And then he realized there is a need because, I mean, we have some weird system where he had to come and sit down at one place and wait for the person. Oh, I'm coming. You know when Ghanaian
Of
tells
course,
you,
of
give me
course,
30
of
minutes, I'll
course.
be there.
Oh, yeah.
And then the guy was like, oh, well.
That is even if you get a definite time.
Exactly.
Because usually you hear, give me 30 to 35, 35, 30 to 35, 40 minutes.
So the guy recognized a need there, went back to America, did a lot of consultation, engaged people, came back and decided that he's going to create something he calls a locker.
Okay.
So you get to the point where I am supposed to meet you and deliver your item to you, the item I brought from America, and you tell me that give me 30, 45 to 50
So you
minutes.
get just drop whatever in the locker.
So you just drop it in a locker. There is this plenty
service assistance
good,
there.
and then it sends messages to the person who is supposed to. And you can come there anytime you want, any day you want. Come and just pick it up.
Exactly. So you don't have to lie about the
Exactly.
time you will get there.
Then this guy says he comes down, try to get the necessary permits and registrations and what have you.
Forget. Forget.
And what have you. And the only reason why, you know, he had to spend so much time here that he lost his job when he went back to America just because he wanted to secure permits and registrations and all that. So just imagine this gentleman go there, does this plenty engagement and consultation, wants to come and solve,
help us solve our Ghana man time problem.
Exactly. And then he is frustrated this way. So I'm saying that if you acquire your knowledge and you come down, you'll be so much frustrated that you won't even like to apply whatever knowledge that you want there to acquire.
Frustration is part of our system. It's part of our system. Now, I don't know, especially when you go to the tertiary institutions, frustration is what the students eat, especially at times of administration. Frustration. Lecturers will frustrate students. It's everywhere. And they treat these students as though they are not there because of the students.
Exactly.
And sometimes I ask them, they respect people when you wear your suit and tie. So when I was I was going for my administration and I was doing my registration processes, I had to wear a suit and tie. Yes, well, they saw that quickly and then they gave me passes. So you need to, psych your mind and prepare yourself, to lead or build the Africa that Herbert Krapper wants as the deputy finance minister. Deputy Trade and Industry Minister.
You were the one I was discussing with the last time. I don't know whether you were the one that it's only in Ghana where students pass and then the lecturer is summoned to answer questions. Why you have so many students passing?
Yes. We've had that conversation.
And you get these lecturers come around and say, nobody can get A in my course because nobody, and they are so comfortable saying that nobody should get an A in their course. I don't get this thing. What kind of thinking is this?
Well, Sam, so let's be patient. If it's we'll talk. Now, Ochin Hiniban's celebration of Obojan, is it Obojan or Obojan? Well, Ochin Hiniban's celebration of that festival, Obojan or Obojan. Ochin Hini has banned the celebration of that festival in Asamangesi. Reasons to that ban, grab a copy of the New Crusading Guide for yourself and let's jump into it. Government slashes 3% withholding tax on unprocessed gold. Another story here, Rocco Falconer and Demeter Ghana. Rocco Falconer and Demeter Ghana sued over alleged fraudulent business deals. Now, let's not politicize disaster issues. Reappointed NADMO boss in charges. Indeed, disasters do not know political colors. The back page, the penultimate page of the New Crusading Guide has some sports here. Akufo-Addo pledges 1 million cedi support to House of Oak. Sam, why to House of Oak?
Well, it's a support for the African campaign.
Okay, right.
Yeah, they need it actually.
Okay. All right. Amate went down very easily as Samoa Jan on penalty against South Africa. We are still talking about this. Well, photo of Karim Benzema, who is on the right in the picture in here, and Matthew on left Okay, I don't know what the photo is about, but they are here. All right, grab a copy of the New Crusading Guide for yourself and delve into them.
Daily guide, daily guide, daily guide. Daily guide is here, and judges cry over social media attacks. Oh, really? Sorry. Fridge killer has 3 identities. Fridge killer, I think, is about the Sunyani.
Yes, a gentleman who killed and put the body in
Fridge
the fridge.
killer has.
But why this? Why this flag?
I don't know why. Fridge killer. That's in how fridge killer saying. Is he killing fridges or what? Or because he kept the
body in
the bodies in the fridge. Fridge killer has 3 identities. It's emerging that the young man who allegedly murdered his girlfriend in Ho and put the victim's body in the refrigerator. Okay, this is a different story.
Okay.
All right. Indium wins U.S. suit and DI louts government youth jobs approach. Denmark premier. Okay, so that's the Prime Minister. Denmark premier visits Ghana, and Hajia Fati denies excavator link. Hajia Fati denies excavator link. What else do we have here? Fetish priest shoots Kabi dead over goat. Social media gun brandishing man arrested. Yesterday on one of platforms, a gentleman commented that when he saw the guy brandishing the gun, he commented under the video that Dampare has a new client, and lo and behold,
of course.
lo and behold, the man has been arrested.
People are not learning.
I'm
People
surprised.
are not learning. I mean, this thing happened not long ago, and the person was picked, and then you also go there, and this time he wasn't just brandishing the gun, but he was actually loading the gun and making pronouncements that what is wrong with you? I no, sometimes I don't understand certain people. Sam, so you said I should have patience.
Yes, please. Right. You have to acquire patience. When you acquire your knowledge,
acquire patience. Employ some patience here.
Ghana Health Service records marginal reduction in neonatal death. Okay, that's good. And well, some entertainment news here. But Dr. John Comer's picture is here, and what is it about? E-levy won't affect ATM transactions. And okay, so this is coming from Amputua. Deputy Minister of Finance, Dr. John Kuma Amputua, has indicated that the electronic levy will not affect ATM transactions. Okay. Credit to private sectors slow. Dr. Ernest Addison, Bank of Ghana, Governor. And Boss receives new pipelines for expansion. Okay. John Bodu pleads for e-levy. John Bodu says what? General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party has pleaded with Ghanaians to accept. Oh, I thought he's pleading on behalf of Ghanaians. Hey.
He's pleading that Ghanaians accept the e-levy.
Yeah, blow.
Yeah, ble papa. Yeah,
ble. I think.
In fact, I think ble. In fact, we are all pleading. This one there.
Is it this morning? Is it this morning? Yesterday, I was listening to another, colleague journalist, and he had a guest. I've forgotten the name of the guest. He was like, the economy suffers when you have Dada best leading the economy.
Yes. I think I saw that. Yeah, when you have Dada B people
yes, of course.
The country, well.
The economy suffers. They are Dada Bs. So if you say Kenke, the side of Kenke has reduced,
they say, the price has increased.
They don't come to Mokola to come and buy Kenke. They slice their Kenke and put it on plates. Their children
when you serve me sliced Kenke.
You are not that about. The Kenke is too much. The Kenke is too much for you.
Yeah. I remember Cyril Jones-Okai and his team of prefects tried to train us to eat Kenke with fork and knife.
Charlie, I remember. How can we be doing this?
What are you talking about? And over there they've written manners maketh man. That big boys, we are eating Kenke with fork and knife. Yes. You can't come and tell us the price of Kenke on the market. So I don't know about that. I don't know about the bees and being in administration of a country.
Oh, yeah,
but what I have experienced personally with the bees is that they don't know how to eat kenke with their hands.
I mean, Akufo-Addo, our president, is a Dadabi.
Oh, he's a Dadabi. Eh?
Oh, of course.
I didn't know.
I mean, look at the gentleman's English. I mean, how he speaks. After so many years in Ghana, he still speaks that impeccable English. That I mean, he. It's because of his training in the UK. His father was also there. His father has led there.
So the president is a Dadabi.
Yeah.
I need to pardon him.
Okay.
So
all right. So that's it for the daily guide.
All right. So unfortunately, this is where we'll wrap up on the newspaper headlines. We have our guests in the studios ready and standing by for the newspaper review segment that will be taken through with Sam because he appear. In the meantime, you're watching AM Ghana. My name is Reginald Adi. I will see you after the newspaper review segment. Do stay tuned.
Malaria nti abayi waye juma bono. Malaria therefore yao. Enti awo ahire ne customers ni. Wahu ne se maami aye smart. Ape CB Malakio. Amma ne baya odi ko school. She se aduane si berry market chi ani malaria nti a onti mi ni.
Onia entina ho ema we mu biara to wo. So we have malaria testing. Maybe we want a better wa and CB Malakio. Yedinuna, Nehama, and now Kikabum Asoneso, I CB Malakio. And no way so dear, and I don't grow. I yet tata shit.
A drawing near my appeal for about a woman for any quada won't in fear.
Susiana, what would you with
FD Ashusha sa a jedi and cratoimu aja to Musa.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
RwandAir, fly the dream of Africa.
Announcements on Adoatv. Contact Adoatv for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies, etc. at a very affordable rate. Call 050-92-57754, 020-9494-258, or visit our marketing desk at Stepwork Premises. Adoatv, bringing good things to life.
CB makeup now. I'm a go correct. What's your best mankasa? That's it. Who anyone? Oh, middle. You captures back on CB makeup sauce. Me see CB makeup sauce na make a year.
Yeah, you see men and women's capsules now. You knew the dada. And one year packaging I had a
Wow! What a packaging! CB men, any CB women capsules, no packaging is out. And you also no mood any biansan wako dog and pay you.
Share a painful, any about town man for any quadruple you and come home.
Susanna, Ghana man, man, Tamasi.
Dodo Afre 0247 111671 and 0246 578 750. FDA ati ededin kato yato.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
RwandAir, fly the dream of Africa.
Announcements on Adoatv. Contact Adoatv for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies, etc. at a very affordable rate. Call 050-92-57754, 020-9494-258, or visit our marketing desk at Stepwork premises. Adoatv, bringing good things to life.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
RwandAir, fly the dream of Africa.
Announcements on Adoatv. Contact Adoatv for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies, etc. at a very affordable rate. Call 050-92-57754, 020-9494-258, or visit our marketing decks at the work premises. Adoatv, bringing good things to life. Staying with us, this AM Ghana, it's time for us to go into what the newspapers are saying. And let me welcome my gentlemen in the studio first, and then I would let you in on what we are going to discuss today. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Good morning, my brother.
So I'm going to be having my discussion with Mr. Alex Tete. Mr. Alex Tete speaks for the NPP, and of course, Malik Adama also speaks for the NDC. Alex,
yeah.
Long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes, sir. How is the NPP doing?
Great.
Are you seeing the road constructions and stuff in your constituency or in your area?
Certainly, I'm seeing a couple of them.
In your constituency?
Not in my constituency. My constituency, I have seen one.
Okay.
That is undergoing. But you know, my constituency is not the only constituency that is in Ghana.
No, I understand. I'm very, because you are coming from there. I mean, you are able to tell us what is happening there and all that. But so you have said you have seen something going on.
I know one that is undergoing in my place, Adan Junction, right to Tamatoku to Kajanya. I know one that is undergoing over there.
Which constituency is that?
Adan constituency.
Adan constituency. So there is something like roads. Recently, we have been complaining about lights. I mean, the sporadic on and off of electricity, it goes on and off. I don't know if you have also experienced the same in your constituency.
Well, I live in two constituencies. I live in both in Adan and then in La.
Oh, okay.
La is my adopted constituency. That is where my children and my wife live.
Ah, okay.
And part of my work is in Adan. So I'm like between the two. For La, I don't see much of that. But in Adan, there is this intermittent power outages and what have you. But for La, I've not noticed that. But I think that largely I try to find out as to what exactly the situation is, and I'll be told that they are doing some routine maintenance, and that is what is culminating into that. So I think that generally it's not been that sporadic. It's just once in a while you see glimpses of that happening.
But in La, do you see roads constructions going on there as well?
La, to be frank, I've not noticed any. I've not noticed. But I work at Osu. But Osu, I've seen a couple that is being done over there. Yeah.
Okay. And in any of these constituencies, how is the situation with water and sanitation?
Oh, for water, as for that, we don't have any problem with water. In La, there is a bit of a challenge, but it's better than it used to be.
Okay.
Yes, it's better than it used to be because this time, my house that I live, sometimes before then, we could stay for about months without seeing any water flow through our taps. But today, hardly about 3 days or so, definitely you see water flowing in the tap. So I think that going forward is better than we used to experience it for the period.
Mr. Malik, welcome. How are you doing, and how is your constituency as well?
I'm doing well. Let me say good morning to the former president, and then let me wish our former vice candidate a happy belated birthday.
Okay.
She had her 70th year.
70th,
That was the day before yesterday.
A few days ago,
yes. So I would like to wish her a happy belated birthday, and yourself, and then my colleague here too, as well as our viewers too. Yes, and we are fine. We are also doing well too, by God's grace. Yeah.
But coming from your constituency, are you seeing any developmental projects going on? Roads? I mean, is your water flowing? Is your light stable? I mean, do you have issues of
let me start
sanitation?
For the light, not really. Somewhere last week we had some interruptions of flow of electricity, and then even this week, on and off, we had some off about 12 to 15 hours. The whole of last week, it occurred on 2-3 occasions. And now for water too, it doesn't flow that much. It flows, but...
Which constituency are you?
Okankwi North.
Okankwi North, okay.
Yes, it flows on and off for some time now. But with the roads, yes, prior to the election, a few roads were constructed and then graded, the surfacing. It was just graded, some few roads. And somewhere, some months back, I think with the push of our MP and other moves, they were able to continue some of the roads that were left, some few of them in the Okankwi North Centre.
Okay.
But there are some key ones that are left, which we are hoping that they should come and construct that one.
Can you mention those areas, as in where you think?
Yes, that is from the Chief Palace in Akwetema to the old station.
Okay,
it is very terrible.
I've seen that.
And it is a very major route. A lot of people uses that road. And also, when you get to the overhead and then you use the bypass, just the first 10, and it spans to the Chief's house, we swerve and then we using that route. I think those ones have to be looked at. And also, when you look at somewhere Victory, between Victory and Kantanka, that stretch, it has to be looked at. Because the last time it was just this, what's the name, Chiefing, surfacing.
Yeah.
It was somewhere 09 when the NDC assumes power. And then I think there are a lot of few places which should be looked at. I think when they are looked at, also somewhere, when you look at the main road, that is the Niboy Junction, when you take that road to Fish Pond, I think those areas should be looked. It should be looked at, because it is also a major road that even minimize traffic, the rate at which
a lot of people use that.
Yes. You use there to Tantra Hill, Alaji, even you use there to drain the main road. I think those areas have to also.
All right, thank you very much for that update. And if you just joined us, we are coming to have our discussion. Now, let me remind you of what happened some months back, where we had the minister. Okay, so let me be specific, not the minister. Let me just be specific with who had that. Now, in the year 2019, let me read this. Ghana's SkyTrain dream and its sad death. There's the caption here. Ghana's SkyTrain dream and its sad death. The SkyTrain station was expected to start operations in August 4th, 2020. So in 2018, Ghana announced a SkyTrain project in 2018. Now, the report here says that the SkyTrain project was to provide transportation to around 380,000 people each day. The response this time from the government has been quite straightforward. It is not possible to be done now. This is just a recent response to this SkyTrain project, and I'll tell you who gave this response. Now, But okay, so a certain portion of the story says, but that was not the first time anyone in this government spoke about the project. That is with regards to the recent comment by the Minister Peter Amewu. Signed on November 11th, 2019, the concession agreement was to see the construction of the 2.6 billion US dollars light rail system in Accra, Ghana, and was to be financed by the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund and the African Investment SkyTrain Consortium. Now, according to Peter Amewu, that's a recent comment from the minister. According to Peter Amewu, the government would not be able to fund the project owing to its intensity in terms of capital investment. The Accra SkyTrain project was envisaged to have a total track length of 194 kilometers across all routes and was projected to provide transportation to people. On the back of that, so Joe Garte in November 2018, the Minister for Railway Development, that is Joe Garte, on behalf of Ghana and the government, signed an MOU with Africa Investment SkyTrain Consortium based in South Africa for the construction of the SkyTrain project. With Accra experiencing ever-increasing traffic congestion, with the detrimental effect on economic activities, pollution, and the quality of life, the SkyTrain project, Garte emphasized, is the solution to this problem. There is confidence in this project. The promoters are very serious, and that is why we invited the president himself to witness the signing. This should assure the investors that government is solidly behind it. It goes on and on and on. In 2019, Joe Garte gives reassurances in 2019. Mine is to tell the president and the people of Ghana whether the project is good or not, but I can assure you that I will get it accomplished if it is a good deal. The train is a must, because so far, it is the best thing that has happened to us. Then the then railway minister said. Those were Joe Garte's words in assurances. Now, let's come back to 2020. The Minister of Information, Kojo Okonkwo, in 2020 said that the Accra SkyTrain project, which was scheduled to start operating in August that year, had not started. He was responding to a question on why the government, in listing projects they had undertaken in the railway sector, did not mention anything about the SkyTrain project. Okonkwo said he was not too sure if the project was specifically mentioned, but says it could be under the railway projects that are in the pipeline. Now, let me come to 2021. Kweku Ofori Esiama during his vetting in 2021. During his appearance before the Appointment Committee of Parliament in February this year, the Minister of Transport, Kweku Ofori Esiama, said that the processes for the construction of the SkyTrain project were still ongoing. He explained that they were working with the Railway Ministry to engage various prospective developers who have expressed interest in the project. For the proposal that we have received, we have sent it to the Attorney General for the department to look at it and advise us on how we should engage them. So that is another point there. So I wanted to give you a background of if you have ever heard anything of about the SkyTrain in Ghana. I remember a popular comment that was made when this was posted by a news portal who said, if the SkyTrain is, how can they buy A1 bread and all that at junctions? But this is it, and this is where we are. I just decided to give you a background of where we have been coming from. And just recently, on Face to Face with a colleague journalist, Omar Sanda, the minister, Peter Amewu John, said that SkyTrain may not even be possible even in the next 3 or 4 years because of the infrastructure needed to even commence the whole project and all that. Now, this has become quite topical, considering the fact that in 2019, I read Joe Garte's involvement, the then Minister of Railway, in signing an MOU with the SkyTrain people. Is it the Africa SkyTrain? Yes, it's a company based in South Africa, and then gave reassurances in 2019. So in 2018, the MOU is signed. 2019 reassurance comes in. 2020 Minister of Information is asked about it. He gives a few comments on that. 2021, that is this year, early this year, when the then Transportation Minister is asked about it, he says that, you know what, some work is being done on that. He says they are working with the Railway Ministry to engage various prospective developers who have expressed interest, but said that the construction or the processes for the construction of the SkyTrain project were still ongoing. So that is just how the story is captured. Gentlemen, let me come back to Alex. Alex, this is actually what happened. I think we all heard about, or I believe you heard about the SkyTrain project. Yeah. And this is where we are now. The Minister of the Railway Department says that even if we give ourselves, let's say, 4 years, it's almost impossible that we can be able to have a SkyTrain. What is happening? Is it that we are being, I mean, as a people, we are being just thrown on and off, that today one person says this, tomorrow the other person says this? What is really happening?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Kwesi, and good morning to our cherished viewers and then my constituents in Adan. I think that, yes, sometimes it is good to have a very laudable idea to a country in the quest for its development. And for that reason, if before a government came into being, that was the vision of the government, that if we were to have such a thing, it is something that is going to benefit us economically in terms of our development and what have you. And then fast track into the future, you have read a litany of assurances and reassurances, and finally what the railway minister have to say in the latest one. And I think that over the period, the vision was there was this vision that is actually meant to save this country in order for economic development. But then you realize that, yes, I knew very well that feasibility studies and other things were sunk into it in order to look at how feasible the project could become. And then in the course of doing that, that is where the ministers came and then were given the reassurances upon them. Now it is becoming clear that after the conclusion of that feasibility studies and what has gone into it, it is becoming clear that just as we anticipated of it to be realized within the shortest possible time, it is no more going to be so. Because there are a lot of things that hitherto we thought that will have to be sunk into it before. And the country as it is now is not positioned in that position in order to be able to acquire those things in order to make this project to become feasible. And so I think that it is better for the minister to be frank with us by telling us that he is at that sector as at the moment that we are speaking. He is at that sector. He knows all what has gone on and what he has inherited over the period. And he's being frank to us that yes, indeed, we might have promised the good people of Ghana that yes, this is something that we think that when we do to this economy, it will help us. But per the situations that we are facing today and our current situation, it is not possible that such a thing can be realized within the shortest possible time. And then we are giving ourselves some time for us to be able to get all the basic things right so that the project could be able to come in. So I must rather commend the minister for being frank to tell Ghanaians that no, what we indeed promise is not something that we can be able to implement at this time. So I think that with this is all what I will have to say about it. And I think that moving forward, definitely we shall get to a point where this vision will be materialized at all costs.
You realize that recently the president made a comment about the Commander Sugar Factory, where he said that the NDC government decided to build the roof of the building before laying a foundation. Now, that is quite proverbial, but literally, he suggested to say that I mean, the groundwork of every building needs to be done. The foundation of every building needs to be done before you move to the roof. It's more like your consultations, engagement, stakeholder engagement. I mean, the planning has to be so much extensive that you know exactly where to start and which steps to take. So you take those steps from 1, 2, 3, and you finally get to 10. Not start from 10 and you come down. So for a president, a government who has this view of how things are supposed to be done, that of course you need to start from the ground and then you build up, which is of course agreed, and that is perfect everywhere. Now, what really happened? I mean, if we are aware of this, why did we then come to sign an MOU when we had not done, I mean, all feasibility tests, how viable this would be? You know, the minister was a bit extensive and mentioned that certain columns would have to be built and all that. Did we put, or did we consider all these things, money that will go into it, and the planning, architectural work, and all those things, before coming out to sign an MOU? In fact, signing an MOU is not actually the issue. Perhaps they could have even kept the MOU silent for everybody, so that we all didn't hear about it, and then whilst they do the feasibility test. So it's an issue of government not doing due diligence, not doing the right things, just coming to slap another slogan in the public and say, hey, we are going to give you SkyTrain. Everybody's happy. Later they come and say that, hey, we can't give you SkyTrain again.
Remember that before the government made that promise to the good people of Ghana that there is going to be a SkyTrain, the government was then known in power. And for that reason,
the government was in power. That was 2018.
That was in 2018. Yeah, we were in power. But it is a vision, and you know what every vision is. Now it is something that you dream of, that you definitely realize it. So it is at the point of doing all the physical things, doing all the feasibilities, that it has clearly been shown now that the situation in which the country is now, it's not possible for such a project to be, even though it's a laudable project that if it is executed is going to help the good people of Ghana. The situation in which the country is now, we cannot commit resources into such thing, and for that reason, that is why the minister has come out to be telling us frankly that this is what we go. Yes, we may sign memorandum of understandings and what have you. We may have engaged ourselves in certain things, but now that we are seeing that no, at the moment the stance of the state will not be anything that can be able for that project to be executed. I think that we should be rather commending the government for having come out at this time to boldly say that no, yes, it is our vision, it is our idea that this is a thing that we wanted to do. But looking at the way things are now, we cannot be able to execute it within the time frame that we are, we are not saying, the government is not saying that it has neglected the project at all, but probably the deadline for which it has to be implemented is what is the issue now. And I think that moving forward, when we get our economic fundamentals right, we get everything that the COVID has causes, we get back to normalcy. I think that definitely such a project, a laudable project like the SkyTrain, will be something that will be beneficial to the people of Ghana.
Now, I also have this. Mr. Gatti said the Skyline project is a private sector led, and we as government have to go through the necessary process to ensure that there is a viable approach. Hence, we are reviewing the contract. The engineers have submitted their stability report to cabinet, and government has set up a competent team to review it. He added that the project, which is under a concession agreement, will be beneficial to the socio-economic development of the country, of course. That's true. Mine is to tell the president and the people of Ghana whether the project is good or not. I can assure you that. So this is also to further add to the assurances. The project will be rolled out in phases, with the first phase covering 256 kilometers at a cost of $1.2 billion. The SkyTrain project is expected to solve the increasing traffic. Okay. So the MOU is expected to last for 9 months for AI SkyTrain Consortium to do a feasibility study into detail, after which concessionary agreement will be presented to cabinet for approval. If approved, construction would commence in January 2020. Let me come to you, Malik. Now, Is it an issue of government trying to, I mean, throw the country into a very frenzy mode, like we are all happy that we are getting a sky train, and then the government comes back and say that, you know what, I mean, this is the Minister of Railways and Transportation talking about the fact that this is not possible. I mean, is it that the minister is also trying to come out and score points for himself and say, no, we are not, or, I mean, somebody didn't do something well? What's happening?
Yeah, thank you very much. I listened to what you've just read, and then I also followed it the day before yesterday, and even this morning on the way to this place. I think it shouldn't have been so. My opinion is that, or what I thought the president or the government would have done is, should rather continue with the projects that are pending first. We have railway projects that are pending, which are not completed, and they are in their midway of completion. I thought first of all, they should have completed those ones first. Even if those ones are completed, they will mitigate this, our transport problem. That is one. You know, somewhere Western region, NDC did a lot with the railway there. And we did about 70-something%, which I'm aware. And I think we are left with something small for the government to just add up for it to be complete. The government should have done that.
The government is still, the government is constructing railways.
Yes, that is the ACOSOM. I'll get there.
Impact
But what I'm trying to say is, when you look at somewhere 2014, when Kufuor started initiating the Accra Tema, most came and continued it. It was not even halted for a day. It continued, and it served a lot of purpose. So at the end of the day, what some of us were saying is that immediately this government took over the affairs of this country, it should have continued with the major important problems which will benefit each and every one. And it will benefit not only the NDC or the MPP. We should have continued them. When those ones are done, before we think of the sky, that will be the second thing. And the sky is possible. Absolutely possible. The phase one, you raise about 1.2 something billion.
Yeah.
But the whole system is about 3 billion.
Yeah.
And in 2 phases, 1 something billion can be done. Atuabo gas plant was constructed with 1.5 billion.
Yeah.
And it was constructed. And it gave a lot of employment.
Yeah.
So with this, they could have also constructed. So I see it as first priority. First is priority. They've signed the MAU, that's the Memorandum of Understanding. Yeah. They've done that. And then they've spoke about it lengthy. So what prevented the project from kicking off? That is another question. And then from what you've just read, that is going to be, wasn't it, the private sector part.
Yeah.
So that means even government will not even fund the project if we should go by what you've read. That means the government will create an enable environment for the private sector to start the project.
Yeah. It says the Skyline project is a private sector led.
Yes.
And we as a government have to go through the necessary process.
Yes, that is creating the enable environment. So what has happened? Does it mean you've not gotten the private developer? And if yes, whom did you sign the memorandum with? That is another question. And then if you've not gotten, why did you come to the world to announce to everybody, even keep on giving us dates upon days? Why so? Are you deceiving us? Or are you playing with our minds? Or you think we will not follow? Or you do that to just win an election and let it go? These are some of the questions when I asked myself, because it is feasible. It is feasible. And then from what you've read, that feasibility studies was done by the engineers. Yes, and then it has been submitted to that a committee has been sent, which engineers.
The engineers have submitted their feasibility report to cabinet, and government has,
yeah. Good. That means they've gone far, and some monies have even been spent, because the studies will involve money. You will pay. I'm an engineer. Feasibility study, you pay for it, and it takes months, not just weeks, even months to do. You do soil tests. You look at the allowance to live. You look at the population around where to pass. You now come and even look at the weight of the sky, whether the trend that you took past the column, as you even mentioned some place, some columns have to be rented.
Yes.
So some monies were used. So does it mean the monies they've gone waste? If they've gone waste, isn't it a financial loss to the state? Meanwhile, we are crying for money. As I'm speaking to you, that we should tighten our belts. Meanwhile, look at what is happening. So I think the government and then the minister, the government as a whole, in fact, they didn't even look at it well. I thought it is one of those things that they would throw it out and then leave it just for us to go with it. The government wants to build or put up a sky train, so we will go by and then afterwards he will just stay back. You know, government has brought a lot of policies and then leave it. Look at free SHS. It was a laudable idea. We applauded it. Ours was quite different from the MPP. We were talking about it should be progressively. They were talking for all. By the end of the day, it was a progressively in a different way as ours. But at the end of the day, they brought it, and then working on it to become effective has become a problem. But they've introduced it, which is good. But look at the challenges. Working on it has become a problem. Maybe this one, the idea was, let's bring it. We've brought it. If we should bring it, it's in the system. Then any other challenges, we leave it. That will be another matter to Ghanaians. We will leave it. And then the whole issue the whole thing didn't come up. So moving forward, I think government, one, should be serious and should take us also serious. And the fact that they've gone that far, at least they should have go ahead with it because they've gone far. And it is possible. Moreover, they said it's a public-private partnership. And if public-private partnership, then what will the government lose? And you know, government can retrieve the money that will be spent on the SkyTrain. You can retrieve your money back because it's going to be used for transportation. And people will definitely pay for using it. And those monies will be definitely pay for the cost of it. Maybe it will take some time, but it will pay for the cost of the SkyTrain. So I think if they can do it, fine. They should look at it. Another thing I ask myself is, will there be a judgment debt just because of the MOU? I'm not a lawyer. I think those who have the legal...
we will have to find out. This morning, the deputy, the public relations officer of the Ministry of Education, was also asked to comment on that, Mr. Kwesi Kwarteng, and he said the government was actually dreaming big when it said it wants to construct a SkyTrain, and then he further said the MPP government should not be punished for promising and changing its mind after he realized the project is not realistic. Mr. Kwarteng made the statement during, he said leadership should not be punished for changing.
Yes, you say there are some situations that we don't even need to think of punishment. That is, if the government should announce and then later come out to say that looking at things, it will not be possible for now. That is understandable.
Okay.
We did that when we promised for one term a premium for the national health insurance. We later came out to say that looking at the situation at hand, we cannot do it.
You cannot do it, okay.
But with this, you even take a step. These are the two differences. You sign an MOU, you keep on promising us day in, day out. So what are you telling us?
Okay.
You even went further to say that feasibility studies were conducted by the engineers. And reports were submitted to cabinet. That means you've moved further. Some monies were spent. That means you've moved further. So if you are not able to proceed, we will take you on. Just because immediately you realize you cannot go, you would have ended it there. But what you did was, you know it is possible. But because it is possible, you proceeded to work on it, and you've worked on it. So we cannot forgive you, honestly. There are a lot of people whom today they are dragged to the court who haven't done up to this level. up to this stage, but they are dragged to the court.
Okay, understood. You want to respond to
let me
something
just
so that we
say
can move on to the next.
That once a feasibility study has been conducted on a project, and then, I mean, those things are there. They are not going to go waste. Those reports will be there.
Okay.
So future government, any government who comes in,
you know, we have a history. The last time I listened to the former CDD boss, this CDD, Ninoy Noti, yeah, and I think the Millennium Development Project.
Yes, he was head of it.
Yeah, exactly. And trust me, there were so many documentations, so many plans that, I mean, no one has taken a look at it.
You know,
and money was spent on.
So that is what I'm saying. That since we have realized that this is a project that is feasible, it is something that can be done. Probably looking at the technicalities involved, looking at the resources that we need to commit into them, that we don't have it now. I think that the report is there. Any future government that intends, but that notwithstanding, you see, these are people from the NDC. They also in 2010 promises of a mono trail that they are going to implement.
But we can't. We can't be going back.
Is there? They promised.
No. I mean, he mentioned that. He even mentioned the same thing. But I mean, we are in 2021.
They promised us and told us that that project was going is estimated to cost 1.5 billion.
Thank you.
And what happened? So if you don't conduct any feasibilities, how will you know that this project will cost this amount?
No, I think
definitely there were certain things that went into it.
I think we should have even taken a cue from that. The fact that one government came in, promised something, and then couldn't or change their mind. Let me put it that way: change their mind. Should at least, I mean, guide us that. Perhaps they didn't do certain things right. So why did we come and continue the same thing?
These are two different projects altogether.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, they are projects for the country.
There is this saying that it is only a fool who doesn't change their mind. That saying is there.
So that is to say that you can just come and throw things. I mean, as a government,
that is not the issue.
I mean, government can be changing its mind. I mean,
but you see,
it's better you don't even announce it at all.
It is better. It is better for you to dream of something.
We don't take people.
That is not realistic.
So the fact of the issue, it is not that this project is not realistic. It is a realistic project.
It is a realistic project. But if you are not
our circumstances today is what will not be able to allow us to execute the project.
The minister is saying that this is not possible. It simply means that a lot of countries
it is not possible within the next 2 or 3 years. It means that after the next 2 or 3 years, 4 years, when we get our things right, everything is set, this project could be able to be done. And those feasibility studies that have been done, those documents are there. We could go back, lay our hands on them.
This is a project. This is a project that was supposed to start. This is a project that was announced in 2018.
Yeah.
Assurance given in 2019.
Yes. You see,
it was supposed to start.
Yes.
In 2020.
Yes. Then the feasibility study has not yet been completed.
No. I mean, date. It said the project was supposed to commence on August 4th.
When it is completed now, it is becoming. You see, sometimes when you even say this, people tend to see that we are blaming everything on COVID so much. But truth be told, that some of these woes that we are facing today is as a result of the COVID. You see, the way we are seated over here today, we are not in normal times. So when we were thinking, the mindset was that if things were to be normal, assuming everything be equal, things are not equal as we thought it were. So that is why it is leading us to some of these things. So if we are making adjustment for some of these things, I think it is well good for us.
Someone will say that.
So the NDC should not be blaming us for carrying out a feasibility. Meanwhile, when they themselves have also done similar thing.
That should be the more reason why we shouldn't repeat what they have done.
Yes, I do appreciate that fact. I do appreciate.
But we have repeated what they have done.
So if you mount,
that is more grave than what
the moral high grounds to. You are seeking to blame as if that you did you were perfect in your dealings and what have you. That is why I have an issue with. But if you are being objective and to note the fact that no, indeed, humans as we are fallible. You may think of something that you want to do in the next 2 or 3 days. When we are getting closer to you realize that it is no more possible within that period for me to do that.
I also think that
you have the right to change your mind and then readjust yourself.
Good, Alex. But I also think that in this case, objectivity is also.
That is the objectivity that has been played. That the man said that.
Let me
within the next possible time. It is not.
Let me come in. Objectivity is also, I mean, the NDC saying that we made this mistake, and that should be a guide for you not to repeat the mistake. That is also objectivity.
They've not even accepted that fact. They've even forgotten. They've even forgotten that they have made such a promise that they are going to come out with a model rate. They have even forgotten.
What Ghanaians are saying is just simple. Promising and couldn't even implement it. That is not the case, right? Because situations might change. You see, even in government, your Works and Housing Minister promised Nima of high-rise buildings, even in government. We never took him on. Even Nima, high-rise building, when you people were in government, which you know it's not possible. But you did that. We never took you on. But what we are saying is that after this was not a promise, this was something that you said you are going to do. Went further to sign the MOU. You get it? These are the two differences. Keep on updating us as to the stages, yearly base. You did that 2008, 2019, 2020. You should keep on.
And it was mentioned in 2021.
Assuming after the feasibility, and what's the meaning of feasibility? To see whether it is feasible.
Whether it's possible to do,
yes, financial is part of it. The area, the location is part of it. And then they look at other factors. So feasibility stages will tell you that the funds are not there. Will tell you that maybe this thing is not there or other thing is not possible. But the minister said categorically that feasibility studies were completed and even forwarded to what? Cabinet successfully. Yeah. So we would take you on.
So what was
that is where we are coming.
Anyway.
That is where we are coming from. And cabinet promise of constructing it. Assuming Parliament upon the feasibility studies
maybe the question we will follow it up. Maybe the question should be what cabinet has said in regards to.
But the minister promises when they submit, the minister promises
anyway. We will hope that the SkyTrain project will happen, but I would take the minister's word. He says it's not possible, even in the next 4 years.
Give me 30 seconds. If you ask me as an engineer, I will tell you that one, let's concentrate on the other railway projects that we have. Let's complete them one. Let's complete the other roads. That is two. And let's also create roads at some areas. They mitigate traffic.
Okay.
You know, when you get to Ofanko Barrier, if you are familiar with that road, there is a road from Ofanko Barrier that passes through Sotu up to Kwashima. Immediately that road was constructed, it is the Achimota traffic. When you get to Tantra Hill and you are going around La Paz, you can decide to divert. So if we have such diversional rules, it will also ease our traffic. So we look at that one first before we think of the sky. But as we are sitting here, you say you are going to buy
I agree with him absolutely. But just to add that, the government is still focused on the development of the railway sector. And it's explained the reason why a whole ministry has been set up for that sector in order to implement. So all what he has said, I have agreed absolutely with him. But to re-echo the fact that the government is focused on constructing the major railways that we have in this country, in addition to all the roads that we have. I mean, these are things that will be done with money. And then, yes, our people said they are not going to support the budget that we use the money, raise the money in order to. And it's mind-boggling. I don't know whether they expect monies to come from heaven for us to be able to get that in order to construct such things. Because we definitely will need money and they have started giving a strong indication that they are not going to support a budget that will implement some of those things.
Thank you very much. Now, on Tuesday in Parliament, the Dr. Kweku Kwatin, that is the finance, the committee, the former finance, deputy finance minister as well, and
the chairman of finance committee.
Good. Now, he made a call in Parliament for the sake of Ghana's development that colleague MPs should also try as much as they can to reduce some of the privileges and the benefits that they earn. This is intended to reduce the public or the pressure or the burden on the public purse. And he made that call. And he was quite specific that there are certain things that it's part of the budget of the house that he feels there is unnecessary. He mentioned calendars and diaries. Amongst others. Now, responding to this, Dr. Atoforsen, another member of the Finance Committee, said that he actually supports a call like that, and for him, he is ready to forego certain privileges. He even mentioned the ex gratia that was in health. In some that came up in some discussions this same year, and the another big one, the car loans that also happened, and we discussed it extensively in Ghana. Let me come to you, Malik. I do not know whether all the MPs would support this call, but Dr. Atoforsen is ready to...
No, Atoforsen readiness was conditional. You know,
okay.
I also agreed with what the doctor said.
Because he said the president should also reduce his convoy and
of course, yes. How can the president...
The president is not in parliament. This call is actually to parliamentarians.
Yeah. You see, leadership by example. That is how the world is. Leadership by example.
Okay.
As a leader, you have to set example for the others to follow. You understand? Good. We are in hard times. That's what they say. If we are in hard times, let's see how the burden will come down from the top to the down. That is how it's supposed to be. When Kweku Kati made that call, it was a laudable call. And why not? As our ranking member said, or finance said, yes, I will support you. But on condition, if the president, not only reducing the number of V8, when the president was touring Greater Accra, though I know other ministers might follow him, but in some instances, about 30, 50 VAs. You are surprised. You know, I met them on Agbogba Road. When we parked, I was counting. When I get about 27, I was confused, couldn't count them again. Where were they going?
But are you sure? Like you mentioned that
you get
some ministers will follow. What if they were all ministers following?
To save the public purse,
ministers shouldn't follow.
No, ministers could have. In some instances, they take buses. Parliament does that. They take one bus. Some of the ministers will be in the bus. Then maybe the president will take his convoy. They do that always. MPs does it when they are going for everybody.
But you see, another thing that someone was trying to ask is that let me. Why is it that we don't try to? Why is it that we don't try to separate? I mean, the issues. There is the executive and the. Now, this call was to the legislature. If they want to help, they shouldn't condition it on what the executive or someone else.
If somebody is begging you to pay for his school fees, let's say 600 Ghana cedis, and then you are willing to contribute 200 or 300, and you visit that person, and you see the kind of food that person eats, don't you think it will discourage you?
No, you won't discourage me.
You are human.
I am willing to pay, let's say, 200 cedis out of that 600.
And then you're going to see the person is eating, the food that the person is eating alone will take about 30 or 40 Ghana cedis. When that 200, which you have struggled to raise, won't it discourage you? You may give, next time you will not do. Just because you decided to give. You may give, but next time you will not do. That is where we are coming from. You understand? But assuming you go and see the person also managing, you say, oh, then he's also struggling to help himself, so you will do more. That is where we are coming from. You understand? They say it is hard time. We want to minimize expenditure and cost in a manner that we can save, so that Ghana can raise some money. That is the whole idea. So the executive must be the first to lead. One, president should stop using the chartered planes, should put an end to it. Our plane, if it's not luxury or fit for purpose, Georgia wouldn't have been using it. Guinea president wouldn't have been using it. Other president wouldn't have been using it. And they are taller than our president. If they say it is not comfortable and fit, because at one time they raised an issue of the chairs when the president sits the legs, but where is still tall.
No, but when the minister came to parliament, I mean, he raised very cogent reasons why the president.
What was the reason?
He mentioned he mentioned size. He mentioned the faults with the aircraft.
But do you know after he presented his issue to the parliament,
and this
Ria used it.
Yes,
I use it.
Yeah.
So
no, that is what the minister came. I mean, I didn't come to say that. That is what the minister came to present to parliament.
Didn't tell us the truth because after that, upon Ria use it, Guinea president use it. Other I think about 3 countries president use it after the statement of the minister. So it simply means the minister was not truthful to us. That is the meaning. The minister wasn't truthful to us. So where we are coming from is that the government admitted that the country is hard. They just admitted. Look at the taxes now. It's a hell. The government admitted. So if the government has admitted that the country is hard, then, my friend, you to cut down your expenditure before you can even tell others to cut down their expenditure. If you don't cut down your expenditure, can you tell somebody to cut down his expenditure for your benefit?
No.
That is what Mr. Atuforsen is saying, simple and short,
okay.
Which I agree with him. Somewhere 2015, when the country was hard, the then your mama taxed his appointee to put down 10% of their salary.
They took it back after.
But even the idea was okay. Whether they took it back, whatever.
No, but I mean,
saying
that for me, okay,
maybe
you will, but for me, saying that, give me, put
but
this
you
phone
know
in your hand.
Some cheap compounds were built with that money. No, where some cheap compounds were built with that money.
But they took the money back at the end of the day.
Which ones?
No.
Can you give us?
Yes, I will give you, and I can give you all where it is.
Yes.
When you are talking, I'll give you all. I'll give you. You know, some cheap compounds were put up, and then what was left was what they went for. No. But some cheap compounds, when you check, you'll find a cheap compound.
They got their monies back.
Cheap compounds were put up. You know, they did it over a years.
Yeah, 3 years.
Thank you, 3 years. Yeah. So cheap compounds were put up. And then when they were leaving power,
they decided to take their money back.
They take their money back. They took some of the money, but by then they've used some for some cheap compounds. When you find it, you see either 8 or 24, one of these figures. But I'll check and give you. So at the end of the day, where I'm coming from is that when the country was hard, so the then president taxed his appointee that they should put down 10% of their salary. And they did that. When they were leaving power, they went for the remaining ones. But they were able to do. So the concept behind what they did is what I'm saying now. So if today Ghana is hard, very, very hard, to the extent that we are taxing everything.
The MPs can forgo their car loans and take it back when they are going.
They can. What I'm trying to say is that, you know, when you check, you will tell me some cheap compounds were put up. But the last one, they don't want to leave it for the government to come and use it. So they took it back because it was their pay. But for the 2 years and more, they use it to put up cheap compound. Either 8 or 20 for one of the figures. They use it. So that is where I'm coming from, Samuel. So if the government or Mr. Kwarteng is telling us that we should sacrifice, that is a good call. But they should set the example first. Let's see from the government. If government, you increase your pay by this huge margin, I think from 240 something to 460 something, that's about 66 to 70% increasement, then everybody will not be sympathizing with you. If you should say we should be sympathizing with you, we should cut down, nobody will listen. But assuming you also sympathize with us, that is where we will also sympathize with you. That is the whole argument. Have you seen it?
Okay. I'm still going.
Yes, I'll
bring it back. But Alex, you disagree with what he said.
Well,
you support
yes, partly. So I mean, for a call for the legislature or the members of the legislature in order for them to make some sacrifices in order to reduce some of their benefit for the country to benefit, it's a call in the right direction. And for any time, any day, anyhow, I am in. I'm for it. I will support it any day, anyhow. And I think that the call from the two legislators, that is Mr. Kweku Kwarteng and then Atuforsen, are just right. So if Mr. Kweku Kwarteng was calling that issue, I mean, the concentration is on parliamentarians, that they should do such things in order to, because look, they call themselves the voice of the people. So if they themselves have realized that no, over the period, we are no more in normal time, and looking at some of our way of living, some of the things that we do take from the government is it is depleting the government is, and for that reason we'll have to sit down and then look at ways of ameliorating some of those things in order for the government to get its full benefit from it. I think it's a call in the right direction. But for my brother coming in to say that the government, I mean, we are three arms of government which are supposed to be independent of one another. So for him coming out to say that, look, the call should be extended to the executive as well, I think it is also good. Well, good. Because we cannot appropriate and reprobate at the same time. So if they are calling that, no, indeed, the executive, I am also in support of that. But for Atu Forcing to be saying that he is promised, he is prepared to forfeit his ex gratia and some of those benefits like the car loans that they take, I think that it's just a mere rhetoric. I've not seen any action that is coming from him, and for me, it is just a single person within the NDC who has said so. I've not heard anybody again who has come out to say that you indeed I support what Atu Forcing is saying, or we as a caucus in Parliament we support what he's saying, and for that matter, going forward, we are making this commitment. We are making this commitment towards it, so that we are not going to take ex gratia again and what have you. For me, the issue of ex gratia has been a worrying situation to me. Right, I think I've come to say it over here before. Look, it is something that I believe strongly that it should be written off our law books. We should do away with it, because it is burdening this country so much. It is taking a lot from the country, so that just a few of them, look at the number of years that the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament stayed in Parliament. Since the inception of democracy or constitutional rule in this Fourth Republic, he's been in Parliament till now. And can you imagine the number of ex gratias that he has taken over this period? I think we are in the 8th Parliament now. So he's taking 8. So for me, I don't see the sense in it. So, I mean, calling on the government, well, now, we thank God that we have a leader who, when he was a minister of state, never collected salary. So that today, if you are talking, President Akufo-Addo.
Who said so?
I am saying so.
It's not true.
I am saying so.
It's not true.
That is what I'm saying. If you don't believe it, that is your own cup of tea. You can decide to accept it or not. But I'm saying it on authority. Yes, that when he was a minister of state in this Republic of Ghana, he didn't collect salary, and we thank God that he's so calling for him in order to cut down. Yes, for me, convoy. There is a lot of misconception about it. Even those in opposition today, President Joe Mahama, former President Joe Mahama. I think one time I was in Adan, they were passing Adan to the voter region. I think they were attending a funeral. You see the convoy that passed with him. I was so surprised that is it the people who are saying that Ghana is so hard.
In times like this, where everybody is calling, you see legislatures are even calling out each other and appealing to themselves that, you know what, we are not in normal times, so let us, as much as we can, forego some of our privileges. Perhaps it's also a right call that we consider a few things, looking at where the country is, where the country is heading towards. It is good that the president gets all the protection and all the, how do you call it, the protocols that he needs wherever, but maybe can be considered to a certain level.
Sure, certainly. I'm not disagreeing with that fact at all.
Because
I am saying that I support the call
when
of the president came to reduce the convoy.
When the president came in, I think there were some tours in Kumasi and some other regions where they were traveling in STC buses.
Yeah.
security-wise, people, I mean, security experts came out and said that
it was dangerous.
Yes, it was dangerous to put everybody in one bus, and then because if something happened, it means we have lost everybody.
Accra, it is possible.
I mean, not necessarily putting all of them in one bus.
When you are going to Peace FM, you can use 2 shortcuts. Peace FM. When you are going to Adenta,
let him finish.
But you can use 50 V8 to Adenta. 30 V8 to Peace FM, just Peace FM.
Yes, I support that call for the reduction of the convoy. I think it will going to save. But even those in opposition are even using more. And remember that
they are in opposition. That is not government's money.
But remember that the president, the former president, is being paid from the coffers. We are feeding him. We are giving him everything that he needs. So just ask, So that is what it is. I'm not disputing that part. I'm not disputing that part. Yes.
So can you wrap up? There is something that I want you guys to mention before we wrap up.
So moving forward, he calls on the government to stop the usage of chartered planes and what have you. Yes, I'm also for it at that. But you see, my colleagues from the other side of the political divide, sometimes is it also a fact that former president, when he was in government, also used chartered flight before, and what was the cost and what have you? They never asked of this. So there was a reason. So who said for every action that you take, there is a reason for it. So there will be a reason that you assign for everything that you do.
Understood.
So let us not try to be disingenuous. Let us not try to be disingenuous. Let us not try to be mischievous. Let's try to be nationalistic. And then when we are calling for, let us call for both sides, so that at the end of the day, whatever benefits that we are expecting from it, we are all going to get it at the end of the day.
Okay.
You know, former President John Mahama, you know, he was stranded. So not in Ghana. That's
yes, I know the story.
And it was about $7,000.
I know the story.
I think it wasn't only once that it wasn't only once.
Now that was when whenever he traveled, that was when the Falcon had an issue, and then it was supposed to be solved. But let's quickly look at this before our time is almost up. We have about 5 minutes. But I want your comment.
The cheap compound.
Yes. So the minister by then said, adding that the money deducted from the salaries will be paid into a special fund for community health and planning services with a focus on maternal health. So
what I have, I can give you specifics as you wanted. The areas that we captured and the areas where just give me good. We built, as at the time we were leaving office, 12 of such facilities were in place. It was our private money from the president, chief of staff, minister, and appointees. We ensured that we went through the formal process of allocating contract for the cheap compound. And these are where the contracts are good. According to ATA, 2 of the cheap compounds were in Upper Denchira. Afram Plains North had 3. Afram Plains South had 3. Greater Accra had 2. And the rest in Volta. And this can be verified.
Thank you.
We verify. So when you say Greater Accra, I'm reading from where in Greater Accra?
I'm reading from Star.
No, Greater Accra. Okay, Accra is a big. Let's quickly.
But the fact of the issue,
let's quickly comment on this. I really want your comment on this particular. Yesterday, the Electoral Commission held an inter-party advisory committee meeting.
Okay.
And then again, the NDC were not present. One of the questions that was asked was, I mean, the proposals that was made there. When Dr. Asari answered, he said the proposals were attached to the invitations to the meeting. So definitely the NDC is going to have their proposal. But one of the things that came up was that they are proposing that the Ghana card be used as the how do you call it? As part of preparations for 8th voter registration exercise next year, the Electoral Commission is proposing the adoption of the Ghana card as the only proof of citizenship.
We know this thing will come up. We know. And the Electoral Commissioner is not of himself. He's being manipulated. And I'll tell you why I said it. Prior to 2016, the Vice President, which I'll give it to you, stood somewhere and said he think we should only use the Ghana card for the new registration. You know, we did the new registration in 2010. That would be more credible. And by then or before then, the Electoral Commissioner told the whole world, told the eminent people that he selected that one, there will not be election. Even if there will be election, you just use your old voter ID. Just show it, and then when your ID, when they enter your ID, all your data will come on. Then you'll be verified, then you go. But at the end of the day, they went by what the vice president said. And that vice president made this statement in December when Kantanka was launching one of his cars. And that vice president went and made that statement. You see how the EC jumped into it. So honestly speaking, we know the EC is dancing to the executive. And I have litany of evidence that I can put
Now this is supposed to take off the guarantor system. You remember the last time someone had to go and guarantee for some. Now you have your but this is still a proposal though. So
you see, for me, the NDC, there's never a way that they are going to say anything positive that is coming from them. Because they started denigrating this EC right from her appointment till now. And they have seen nothing good in her coming. Meanwhile,
can you tell me one good thing about them?
She has organized an election, a very credible, successful election in this country that all international organizations that came to, I said it was credible and free and fair. So if you sit down today and then such a EC, you try to denigrate it, you try to portray it as if it is an evil entity. I think it is up to you. Now, you claim that you want reforms within the electoral system. They organize IPAC, you don't even attend. You go there, and then when meetings are being organized, you behave as if, a whole general secretary of a political party, when meetings are going on, you'll be giggling. And they ask you, why are you giggling? And you can't give any reply. Please.
You are offended.
You see,
why are you offended?
You see, you go for a meeting. There are ethics that govern every meeting. If you are at a meeting, then in the process, I am delivering a speech, and then you sit at the back and you are laughing. What is wrong with your laughing? There is everything wrong with it. You don't do that.
Okay, thank you.
As a corporate entity, you don't do that. Somebody, like the stature of a general secretary, need not to have done such a thing.
Thank you.
And I think that moving forward, the proposal that the EC is making, I think that it is good. If we should move it forward, it will be good. We should even get to a point in time that we should even be using the Ghana card to even cast our vote.
Thank you very much, Alex, and thank you, Mr. Malik, for coming. I think we have had a quite interesting.
Oh, why you like actually 30 seconds? The
time is up.
If you
okay, I'll give you 10. I'll give you 10.
I'll take 10. I'll take 10. If you give me 10, I'll take 10.
The problem NDC we are having is that Bossman, everybody knows he was a matron MPP in Lagos. So in that case, the president should have been mindful, not even to put him there.
That's the NDC's problem. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for staying with us.
But one thing that we must know is that Bossman is not an EC. He's not an institution. The EC is an institution on its own. Bossman alone cannot take any that can override the EC.
Thank you very much.
So if they are boycotting the EC,
we were ending this peacefully. Let us end this peacefully. Thank you very much for coming, and we will come your way once again tomorrow, God willing.
How come Bossman go on air?
Reginald
that he suggests
here. Bye-bye.
People should vote for this.
The program is over.
I know.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
Water, but when I get your mouth, and that's all I order. Fire.
Malaria and tea. Abba, you are yet my bono.
What you have to figure?
Malaria, therefore, yao. Enti awo, ashine customers. Wahune se mami ya smart. Ape sibi malakyo. Amma ne baya odiko school. She, se aduane si berry market echi ni malaria nti a ontimi ni.
Onia, and now Emma when we are to walk. So we have malaria test. Maybe one. And better one. And the CB malakyo. Yedinuna. Nehama. And now kick out bomb as soon as I CB malakyo. And no way so there. And I don't grow. And yet that shit.
A drawing your ma appeal for. About a woman for. And in Quada won't in fear.
Susiana. What would you win?
FD Ashusha sa a jedi and car to you aja to Musa and
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with Rwandair today. Rwandair, the safest airline in Africa.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
CB makeup now. I'm not go correct. Why your best mankasa? That's it. You want anyone? Oh, middle. You captures about one CB makeup sauce. You see, CB makeup sauce and make a year.
Yeah, you see men and women's capsules now. You name the dada. And 1 year packaging I had the pepper.
Wow! What a packaging! CB men, any CB women capsules, no packaging is out. And you also no mood any bianza no akodo ben pegi.
She painful. Any about town man kwada no for. Any kwada go di fie do ye. En come home.
Susanna. Ghana man man tamase.
Dodo Afre 0247 111671 and 0246 578 750. FDA Aji Edredin Kato Yato.
Announcements on Adoatv. Contact Adoatv for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies, etc. at a very affordable rate. Call 050-92-57754, 020-9494-258, or visit our marketing desk at Stepwork premises. Adoatv, bringing good things to life.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with Rwandair today. Rwandair, the safest airline in Africa.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
Malaria nti abayi waye juma bono. Malaria therefore ya o. Enti awo ahire ne customers ni. Wahu ne se maami aye smart. Ape CB Malakio. Amma ne baya odi ko school. She se aduane si berry market chi ani malaria nti a onti mi. And now Emma when we are at war. So we have malaria testing. Maybe woman. And Trebetua and the CB Malakio. Yedinuna, Nehama, and now Kikabom Asoneso, I CB Malakio. And no way so dear. And I know grow. I yet tata shit.
A drawing yama appeal for about a woman for any quada won't in fear doing.
Susiana, what would you win?
FD Ashusha Sa a Jedi and Kratoimu Adia to Musa.
Announcements on Adoatv. Contact Adoatv for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies, etc. at a very affordable rate. Call 05092 57754 020 9494 258 or visit our marketing decks at Step Work Premises. Adoatv, bringing good things to life.
Would wake up and perceive the environment around you, then you perhaps know who you are, where you find yourself, and where you'd be heading to. Welcome back from the break, and a big thank you to Sam Kisipia, his guest, for the newspaper review segment. Well, it's time for some discussions, and today we are looking at the physical effect on the psychological development of individuals, the physical effect on the psychological development of individuals. And my guest for this discussion is an adjunct human relations lecturer at the JE University of Communications. I want to call him Doctor, but he's not gotten there yet. Mr. Daniel Torto. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
And welcome to EM Ghana.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing very well.
Very well.
Yeah.
Now, when we say physical effect, physical development and psychological effect, these are two things that have come together to play, and they certainly have a role to play on the individual. First off, let's speak, what is psychological effects? When people say psychological effects, what does it mean? In our Ghana setting, we say it's psycho bullet.
Okay.
Is it the same thing?
No.
All right.
It's just, I think it's just a term they want to use. But
right.
Psychology is a science that deals with the mind and the behaviors of people. So you see, so that's what psychology is.
Right.
So if somebody says, I guess, it means that he's using his mind on the person.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Maybe it's a new trick or something.
Right.
Yes. So
right.
Yes.
And this has a direct effect on the physical development
Definitely.
of individuals.
Definitely. It does have a lot of effect on individuals. And I just explain what psychology is, and I want to explain what development is.
Right.
It's just a process of growth, or a process where something is expanded or something becomes bigger.
Right.
That's what development is all about. So, I mean, when you put the two together, it means that the psychological development of a person can affect their physical being.
Okay.
You understand? Or if you go the other way around, your physical development of the person can affect their psychology as well.
I see.
So it plays
So they go hand in hand.
Exactly, yeah.
Right. Now, are there any factors that lead to those psychological effects? I mean, the way you think and behave. Are there any other things that influence the way you think and behave?
Yes. I mean, straight from when the sperm is developed, and I mean,
it starts from there.
There's an intercourse. It gets into the stomach. I mean, the womb. The womb that even contains you or holds you has a great effect on your physical being. That's why you develop.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
So when you finish developing and you come out, the environment you find yourself also have a great effect on how you develop.
Okay.
Or what you become, or who you become.
Right. Since you touched on the sperm, you touched on reproduction.
Exactly. Yes.
And from the genesis of reproduction, is it true? We've heard rumors that an individual is bound to pick from what the parent or the mother says, does, even when in the womb. Does that environment also, like you said, account for the development of the individual? Is it true?
It's not a matter of fact, but it's a matter probably it's a matter of superstition and psychology. But it's not a matter of fact. You understand? But sometimes, I mean, you'll be sharing some of the common things with your parents. So sometimes people think like they transfer certain things to you, both physically and spiritually. But I don't want to go to the spiritual aspect. You understand? But then it does have a little effect on you, but I don't think it does greatly.
I see. Now, what relations we've established that, I mean, the psychological effects of individuals have a direct relation on their physical development. What kind of relationship does the psychological effect have on the physical? Are they negative effects or are they positive effects of development?
They can be negative, they can be positive. I mean, I'll give you a critical example of Inky Jones, and Nick Voyage, the guy who doesn't have the motivational speaker who doesn't have arms, and legs, and yes, you could see that the development is development. He doesn't have arms, but he doesn't sell himself short. You understand? The whole life. Do you know why you live your life? You live your life in your body, and the way you're created. Any way you're created, you should enjoy that life in the body you find yourself. Whether you have legs, you have arms, you don't have anything. You need to, because what controls your life is your mind.
Okay.
And the way you see the world. You understand? So you see, he doesn't have arms and legs and whatever it is, but then at the end of the day, he's able to motivate a lot of people. He's able to inspire a lot of people than people who have arms and legs. Because what he's living his world in his mind. Okay. He's married. He has children. But there are people who are, I mean, excuse my language, physically complete. But they don't have all these things he has. So your world, the way you see things, the development of your mind, the way your parents or whoever takes care of you in your development stage, make you feel that is what's going to carry you. That's what you're going to carry along when you're growing.
So you keep touching on, if I would sum it up, from infancy to the development of the child, which is a responsibility of the parents
or a guardian or
a guardian, exactly, or whoever the child is growing under. Now, in these times, per what you're saying, these are crucial times of the stages of a person's life. Now, the things that people hear from their parents, the insults, the kokonsa, the play. Oh, me bay onia, obey doctor, me bay onia. All of these things, do they contribute? And sometimes the things that the child is exposed to, perhaps when the parents are having their private time, they don't bother that the child is around and all that. does this go a long way to affect the physical development, which affect the psychological first to the physical development?
Yeah, the psychological, it does affect. You just imagine that people who, I mean, if you hear a South African speak, you know the accent.
Yes.
It's different. Even if the person is white or black, you know the accent is different. The same way if somebody speaks English from Accra, you know the accent. I mean, there are certain words they can't pronounce very well. The same way if somebody speaks from the Volta region, you can clearly say that, they can tell that you can come from the Volta region. The same way somebody speaks from the Northern region or the Ashanti region, you can know that, oh, where they are Santini, do you understand? The environment does a great effect because, I mean, a lot of people in the Ashanti region or a lot of people in Accra can't pronounce H and L. Why? It is because of how they grow up and where they grew up and how their communication pattern was formed.
Interesting. I mean, most of these people have been to school. Why doesn't that have an effect on their psychological build-up?
Why it doesn't have?
I mean, they go to school. I mean, they stay in their homes. Perhaps when you know, people who have problems with their R and their L's,
or
their age, or whatever, find these things occurring at home. They go to the schooling environment where they spend many hours at, interact with different people, interact with teachers who may not necessarily be making those, should I call them mistakes? These students end up, you know, exhibiting these signs. What accounts for that? Is it because, I mean, they have a direct bond with their parents than in school? I'm trying to get
it. It's not really a direct bond with their parents or in school. They do have a connection with their parents, a very good bond, a solid bond. But when they come to school, they find themselves in the same environment. Because just imagine the same children who are struggling to correct. I won't say it's a mistake or an anomaly, but they find themselves around the same kind of children. You understand? So the moment they begin to, they don't correct it because it's normalized.
Of course.
Because we are all in the same environment,
in the same setting.
It's normalized. You understand? I say that one of the few reasons why schools like Wesley Girls were always true was that the environment is very conducive for people to learn. The same way when you go to child development stage, when things are supposed to be corrected, because the children are all in the same thing, they don't realize that it's even a mistake.
Right.
You understand? I'll give you a critical example. When you take a child to Galaxy International School or GIS, and you take a child to, let's say, normal government school, very normal, basic, like cluster school, simply 1, simply 2, or any kind of school, there's a clear difference between them.
Of course.
In what language?
In language, in academic performance,
exactly. And how they see themselves, and how they see the world.
Interactions, exactly.
And how they see the world, and how they see themselves. Their confidence is up there because there's a deliberate attempt to make sure that the child develops.
Okay.
You understand?
Right.
There's a deliberate attempt that the child develops and develops in a certain style.
Right.
And the environment plays a very key role in that development. Because when you go to school and the class is 12, 14, 15, the tutor or the teacher or whoever it is, or the trainer or whoever it is, is responsible to be able to identify certain things in the child. Special traits. If the child is able to draw, they are able to know that this child is going to become either an architect or a graphic designer or something. So they are able to work their way around the child and develop his confidence in that particular area. You understand? But I mean, you go to a school where the children are 90 in a class, 100 in a class, one teacher, not well resourced.
Right.
Always development, or will be their development. And so that's where there's a struggle and the survival of the fittest. So people who are able to come out of those schools are hard. They learn, they do things on their own and make sure that they know the vision is put into their heads straight from home.
Right.
Or their circumstances in the house or in their homes will make them know that the only way out for me is education.
Right. And so in psychological effects that affect the physical being or the physical development of an individual may also emanate from the situation that a person finds himself in. So perhaps somebody is dealing with a lot of issues and it has a direct correlation with their physical development. Are there other, psychological effects apart from the particular situation the person is encountering, or perhaps the environment that the person grew up in? Are there any other factors that contribute to the psychological effects that impacts their physical development?
Yeah, I started with saying that your orientation is part of it.
Right.
So, and it's part. It's like when you are oriented very well, even if you lose a limb or a hand or something, a finger or something, or you have maybe a certain level of marks in your face, it doesn't take away your confidence. Because you are given a certain level of orientation that this is who you are, this is what you are made of. So your mind tells you have to go beyond how people see you.
Okay.
You have to see yourself. You see, happiness. I always say that happiness is what is created by you and for you. Happiness is created by you and for you.
Right.
You understand? So you have to go beyond that looks, those looks, and who define what is beautiful and what is not beautiful.
So that is one thing I want us to get to. The other day, my colleague had an interview about social clock, and it tells that in every society, there is this built pattern as to how human beings should go. So, like for instance, when you go to South Africa, you realize that they are not alien to tattoos, piercings, what have you, but it is otherwise in the country, which goes a long way to back the orientation and the environment. Sometimes we grow in what we have been brought up within, but as an individual, can you decide at a point to start developing your own thoughts, your own behavior that would affect your physical development?
Oh yes, we do. Well, a lot of people do develop their minds to a certain level where, excuse me to say, they don't care what society will say about them.
Right.
You see, one of the key things that that comes to play when things like this is culture.
Okay.
Culture is very significant. When you can't take culture away from it, because when you go to Spain, people behave differently. When you come to Ghana, so the culture is part of your grooming process of becoming who you want to become. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So it's quite difficult. So if the person is people are able to break away from their culture, that's where their development starts. And culture can be anything.
Right.
Anything at all. So the moment you break away from maybe your culture from home, your culture from maybe the society, how people view things, that's where your personal development starts. Because there are things that you are unique. As a person, you are unique. You are unique in your own right. There will never be anybody like Reggie again in the world. And so you have to identify yourself and say, is this culture working for me? Is it making me happy?
Okay.
Is it making my life positive? How is it affecting my life?
Right.
Do you understand? And if that's not affecting your life, you need to find what feels comfortable for you and is accepted by society, which is not a crime, or which wouldn't be something that people would hate. Do you understand? Or which would not distract anybody.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So you have to always find that thing. There are people in this world who don't worry. And whether you like it or not, you can have an accident, you can lose a leg. They won't worry, they will still succeed. Because in their minds, they still have a leg. In their mind, they still have arms.
Okay.
In their mind, because their perspective is different. They want to achieve anything, whatever they want to achieve, whether they have legs or they don't have legs, they want to do it at all costs. And so probably you have legs. Somebody who doesn't have legs will hire you to do the leg work for the person.
Well, so we find ourselves in sometimes environments that we have no control of. Let's say your working environment, for instance, and there is a culture. As you see, culture also helps in building the psychological effects that goes a long way into physical development. And so you find yourself in an environment that you have no control of. How do you then, since the environment is one major factor of physical development, how do you then train yourself to get out of that environment when indeed that environment provides everything you want, from shelter to, food to employment, to the basic necessities? How do you develop yourself?
You have to practice what is called emotional intelligence.
Okay.
You have to know how to deal with your emotions in that environment. You have to be able to assess whether you are growing in that environment. You can have all what it takes. all these things that you mentioned, it's not everything.
Okay.
Your mind and your emotions and how you're able to carry your emotions in those environments is everything for you. Because you see, you can be in an environment where you're paid 50,000 Ghana cedis every month. It pays your bills. It does everything.
Yes.
But you're dying slowly.
Okay.
So you have to be able to assess every environment. You need to be able to take control of that environment. There's nothing like I'm losing control. I have no control. You do have a control because you know what, the work that you are, wherever you're working, you decide to work there. They employed you, but you decided to accept the employment letter. If you think that it's not working for you, it's not good for your personal growth, right? You can quit.
Okay.
Or if you think that it's an environment where you can manage, it's not too intense for your mind and you can manage, you have to be able to know how to manage it and turn it around. Sometimes people worry too much. Sometimes you need to calm your mind. You need to master the ability to calm your mind and say, you know what, I find myself in this environment, it's very tense. But my mind is telling me it's tense. But I'm able to calm my mind to a certain level that I don't see the environment to be too tense again. Because I go to work, I do my work, I do whatever I have to do, deliver excellence. That's it. If you're able to deliver, you begin to see that the environment is not too tense. Sometimes the reason why people find environments to be too tense and too toxic is that they don't do what they're supposed to do. Or sometimes they go with the company culture. Everybody's doing this way, let's do it this way. And there's a new CEO, there's a lot of heat coming from the CEO. The environment becomes toxic. It's not. Unless there's a deliberate environment that is very toxic. That is maybe if you're a female, people are sexually harassing you, people are bullying you, people are, saying all sort of things about you in your life. It's not an environment where if your mind can't carry, you should stay in.
Right. Now, finally, before we wrap up, there is this thing that I have considered a dangerous environment. And this dangerous environment exists everywhere, especially on social media. Lately, you see, we find ourselves in that environment where we see things that people put out there. And whether you like it or not, this goes a long way to affect people's physical development.
Or mental development, yeah.
Yes, or mental development. It's also apparent in some other environments, but I want us to say on social media. And on social media again, you will hear motivational speakers, and that's the dangerous aspect of it that I think we should look at. You hear motivational speakers telling you how certain things are possible, but most cases, they speak from their setting, from their experience, from their background, not considering where you may find yourself. So you will hear somebody telling you that if this is not working for you, leave and do this. You will hear somebody telling you that when you wake up in the morning, exercise, meditate, do that. Meanwhile, you don't have the hours to do that. You stay in Kaswa. You have to get to work by 5 a.m. At what time do you wake up? I'm talking about all of these things, and they get into our head. So when you're not doing them, or when you are doing them but you are not attaining the results, you feel like there is something wrong with you. Is the social media space and these motivational speakers something we must really look at?
I see. It's a very, 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 very. I wouldn't say it's a very, very delicate matter. But then you see, whatever you're telling you is about you. You know your realities. You don't have to. You don't allow somebody to control your mind and take you to wild places where you're not supposed to be. Anyway, if you're in class 1 and you want to do these things, whatever you say you want to do in your life, if you have the time and develop the time for you and develop the discipline, you can do it.
You don't have the time.
No, you do. You have 24 hours. You do. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be do that in the morning.
Okay.
You see, so some of these things do apply. But then you see, sometimes you have to also look at where the person is coming from,
exactly,
and then apply that thing to your life. That's what I'm saying. Happiness is created by you and for you.
Right.
What the person is telling you it sinks into your head, and you process it and say, "This is where I want to apply." You understand?
Right.
Someone say, "I took 2 cedis and I got 2 cedis and I developed it into a business." No, you know that in your situation, perhaps the person setting they find themselves with a 2 cedi, they eat and do everything. So the 2 cedi, they can go and buy something.
They have other bills being taken care of.
Exactly. So you need to always be a realist. It's very important. Be a realist. Know your situation. Know where you're coming from. Know where you're going to. And know that sometimes it will take you time.
Yes.
You know that sometimes it will take you time. Do you understand? So be able to be time conscious and know that I won't worry. When the time is right for me, it will happen for me. Do you understand? But people go to social media for quick remedy. Like, like you just go like, I have a broken heart. They go and listen to somebody's song. They go and listen to somebody say, "Let's go." No, sometimes you need to know yourself and understand your own emotions.
Right.
And that's what emotional intelligence is all about. You need to understand those things. And when you're able to, you see, development is a deliberate attempt.
Right.
You can grow. You can grow. You can become another age. Like next year, definitely, if you are alive, if you are 32, 33, you become 34. Yes, it is constant. You grow. But if you want to develop as a person, it is not autopilot.
Right. So there is growth and there is development.
Yes.
Growth can happen,
Yes.
but development is a deliberate attempt.
You need to have a deliberate attempt.
Like perhaps decide to read books that will change your perception.
Exactly.
Decide to learn new things that would affect
and the people that you find yourself around.
Right.
The people that you find yourself around can determine who you become or who you become.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yes. They say that if you find yourself in the midst of billionaires, you'll be the fifth billionaire. Also, there's a saying like that.
Possibly. And if you don't even become a billionaire, you become somebody who is financially conscious,
right,
or closer to becoming rich. Do you understand?
Right. Mr. Toto, this conversation is a very deep one.
Yeah.
And the mega minutes we had wouldn't permit us to, digest all of this. But I'm grateful for your time this morning. At least, if for nothing at all, my guests have learned that where they find themselves may not necessarily be the best. It may be the best of environments, but you can always be a better version of what you think you are today. Mr. Daniel Toto, thank you very much once again. Mr. Daniel Toto is an adjunct human relations lecturer at the JE University of Communications. What we just discussed is the psychological effects on the physical development on individuals. If you didn't get it, you can go back to our Facebook platform and replay and learn and understand that where you are, where you find yourself, it's not the end. And what you think makes you. So think positive and live positively. My name is Reginald Adi. Have a positive day.